Hello, everyone, and welcome into Schaumburg, Illinois, where today your Washington Wild Things take on the Schaumburg Boomers in Game 3 of this three-game series. Hi, everyone. I'm Zach Ziegler, taking you through the 2016 season for your Washington Wild Things. The Wild Things have taken the first two games of this three-game set and come in with a four-game winning streak. You're listening to the Washington Wild Things pregame show. Got a lot coming up for you here on the Wild Things pregame show. Going to take a look back at the first two games. Wild Things taking both of those games, winning game one by a score of 6-4 and winning last night by a score of 5-0. We also have a sit down with last night's starting pitcher, Brandon Hinkle. That's coming up for you. Also going to take a look at the lineups, take a look at the pitching matchup for tonight. Tyler Garko making his first start of the season for the Washington Wild Things. That due to the fact that the Wild Things played a doubleheader against the Traverse City Beach Bums on Wednesday. So we'll take a look at Garko, see what he has to offer. He'll be opposed on the mound by Josh Hettinger for the Schaumburg Boomers. We'll take a look at him as well. It's all coming up right here on the Washington Wild Things pregame show. We'd like to remind you this broadcast brought to you by Consol Energy, Bethany College, and True Par America. The Washington Wild Things came out victorious last night. Game 2 of this three-game series with the Schaumburg Boomers as they won by a score of 5-0. Brandon Hinkle got the start in the game, and he pitched great last night on a total of 6 innings, not allowing a run on 5 hits, 1 walk, and 4 strikeouts for the Wild Things left-hander. It was a little bit of a delayed second start of the season as he was supposed to start Game 3 of the three-game series against the Lake Erie Crushers back at Consol Energy Park, but that game was rained out, so Hinkle had to wait another 5 days before getting the call, but he pitched great last night. The Washington Wild Things got on the board in inning number 3. It all started with a Scott Carcasey walk, and then Eddie Sarando, who caught last night, giving Alex McKeon the night off, doubled down the right field line to give the Wild Things runners at first and second with nobody out. Then John Zizniewski at second base, he delivered with a sacrifice fly that scored Scott Carcasey and made the score 1-0 Wild Things. Then Jamal Austin would come up and single, giving the Wild Things runners at first and third, only one away. And Austin Wobrock delivers an RBI single, scoring Sarando and making the score 2-0. Brian Harr would bring both Jamal Austin and Austin Wobrock around as he hit an RBI double. That would give the Wild Things a 4-0 lead in inning number 3. And it would stay that way until inning number 6 when things started with a Brian Harr triple. Brian Harr on the night 2 for 3 with a double, a triple, and 2 RBIs. That triple was his second hit of the night. He got on third base, and Dave Popkins, or a wild pitch, scored Brian Harr. That made the score 5-0 Wild Things, and that's what the final would hold on. That inning would continue, though, as Dave Popkins would line a single up the middle. A very scary moment for Popkins as he hit a ball that hit right off the eye of starting pitcher Brett Mabry, and Mabry was down for 15 to 20 minutes as trainers assessed him. He did get off the field on his own power, so that was good to see. We hope here at the MSA Sports Network that he is recovering nicely. Mabry was tended to by team athletic training. After that single by Popkins, Ricky Rodriguez and Jimmy Yezzo would walk to load the bases with nobody out, but the Wild Things would not come through as Scott Carcasey would strike out and Eddie Sarando hit into a 5-3 double play. The 8th inning, the Wild Things had another chance to add on, but again did not. They started things with a Brian Harr walk, then Dave Popkins singled, and Ricky Rodriguez walked to load the bases with nobody out, but then 3 straight strikeouts. Jimmy Yezzo, Scott Carcasey, and Eddie Sarando all struck out to end things in the 8th. So the Wild Things got the 5-0 win. Again, the Wild Things bullpen, as they have been really all year long, was on fire. When Brandon Hinkle left the game, Colin Stanley came in. He threw 2 scoreless innings of work, striking out a batter and walking a batter, also allowing a hit. And then Andrew Wick came in to finish the game. He threw he threw a scoreless 9th inning, giving up no runs and striking out a batter in his 1 inning of work. So that Wild Things bullpen, once again, very good, coming in and shutting the door, giving the Wild Things the 5-0 victory. The Wild Things took game 1 of this series in comeback fashion, won 6-4 in that contest, as the Boomers in that game jumped out in front really early. They scored 4 runs in inning number 1 as Josh Gardner and Paul Kroenfeld got on with one out at first and second. Chris Robinson delivered a 2 RBI triple to make the score 2-0 Boomers. One batter later, Sean Payne would hit his first home run of the 2016 season to make the score 4-0 Boomers in inning number 1. However, after that first inning, starting pitcher Matt Frodden really calmed down, just gave up those 4 runs, and his 6 innings of work in that game. Gave up 6 hits, 1 walk, and 3 strikeouts for the Wild Things starter. And again in that game, the bullpen for the Wild Things, 3 scoreless innings of work. Andrew Wick, Devin Davis, and Zach Grotz all got work in that game. The Wild Things would cut back in the lead in inning number 5 as Jimmy Yezzo started things off with a home run. It was his second home run of the 2016 season, and that made the score 4-1. 2 batters later, Justin Fox would walk, Jamal Austin would single, and Austin Wobrock would walk to load the bases with 2 outs. And then Brian Harr came through with a 3 RBI double. Harr having a very good series. He was 2 for 5 with 4 RBIs in that game, clowning his 2 for 3 last night. He is now 4 for 8 in this series against Schaumburg as they wrap it up today in Game 3, and that made the score 4-4. Then in the 6th inning, Ricky Rodriguez put the Wild Things on the board, or in the lead, with his second home run of the 2016 season. A solo shot made the score 5-4. The Wild Things would add 1 more run on in inning number 7, as after Justin Fox started with a walk, Jamal Austin replaced him on a fielder's choice, and Brian Harr drove in his 4th run of the game, an RBI double, and made the score 6-4, and that's where the final would stand. In that game, Matt Frodden got the win. He improved to 2-0 on the year in 2 starts. Zach Grotz picked up his 2nd save of the 2016 season. So your Wild Things have taken the first 2 from the Schaumburg Boomers, looking for the sweep here in Game 3. Coming up, we have a sit-down with Brandon Hinkle, last night's starting pitcher, 6 scoreless innings for him. So that's coming up next. You're listening to Washington Wild Things Baseball right here on the MSA Sports Network.
Be sure to check out MSASports.net every day this spring for the scores, the daily standings, and the weekly rankings, plus daily high school sports broadcasts as well. In May, we will have exclusive coverage of the WPIAL baseball and softball playoffs, the WPIAL boys volleyball and tennis championships, and the WPIAL boys and girls track and lacrosse championships. Anytime, anywhere, always there, every day this spring on the MSA Sports Network.
We're back here on the MSA Sports Network, listening to the Washington Wild Things pregame show. Currently joined by last night's starter, Brandon Hinkle. And Hinkle, 6 innings pitched last night, no runs given up, only 5 hits. What was working for you on the mound?
I had all 3 pitches going pretty well. I started the game going mostly fastball, changeup. Changeup seemed to get a lot of guys out front, get a lot of ground balls, like pop-up, shallow fly balls. Had a bunch of great defensive plays behind me, too, so all around just great baseball game.
And talking about those defensive plays, a couple diving stops by Jimmy Yezzo. What does that do for you as a confidence booster for on the mound?
Oh, it's 100%. When you can know that you got your guys behind you making those kind of plays, not just those plays, but just, routine plays as well. It just gives you a lot of confidence. You want to throw more strikes because you know your defense is going to make plays behind you.
And I've noticed throughout the year you have a very good pickoff move over to first. You picked off a couple guys against Joliet. You picked off another one last night. What's the key to picking a guy off at first base?
I had this question last year when I got interviewed. My brother actually taught me it, and he's actually a right-hander, so it's kind of funny. But my key is just to have my shoulders and my head just going towards home plate as long as I can, and then at the last second, kind of without looking over, just wing it over there. And for the most part, it really works out for me and gets me out of jams sometimes.
And then coming off, you had a long delay between starts. You had the start against Joliet. You pitched 3 innings in the rain out on Sunday before last night's start. Did that help at all? Did that hurt at all? How did that affect you on the mound yesterday?
Anytime you get extra rest, it's always pretty good on your arm and stuff. But, I felt good. It felt like I did when, it did suck that I only got 3 innings, but it was like, a pen kind of. So it kept me fresh, and I was able to go out and throw 6 innings, and hopefully next time out I get to go out a little bit and maybe get 7 innings in me next time.
And last night you worked with Eddie Sarando behind the plate. What's it like working with Sarando back there as opposed you've also worked with Alex McKeon this year? What's the differences between them?
Well, I only got to see Alex for 3 innings, so, first time out, it always takes a little bit of adjustment. And I love Eddie back there as well. They're both great defensive catchers. They know the game, so either one of them is just awesome to throw to.
And finally, what's it been like playing with this group of guys here early in the season? You're out on your second road trip now. You've gotten a chance to play some games, gel together. What's it like with this team?
This is a great group of guys. Actually, probably one of my favorite group of guys that I've ever played with here in baseball. And everyone gets along. Everyone's got a good role going on. So I'm really happy and looking forward to seeing where this team can go.
Thanks, Brandon. Good luck today.
Thank you.
We'll be right back here on the MSA Sports Network. You're listening to the Washington Wild Things pregame show.
AAA members enjoy 24/7 roadside assistance, exclusive member-only discounts, expert travel assistance, free identity theft protection, and much more. With that AAA card in your wallet or purse, you have the peace of mind, safety, and security that only AAA membership can provide. Already a member? Don't forget to renew. Not a member? Join AAA today at any nearby office or online at AAA.com. AAA, we're always with you.
We're back here on the Washington Wild Things pregame show, getting you ready for Game 3 of this 3-game series between your Washington Wild Things and the Schaumburg Boomers from Boomers Field in Schaumburg, Illinois. I'm Zach Ziegler. Last night, as we said, your Wild Things with the 5-0 victory. Going to take a look at the starting lineups for both of these teams. First, for your Washington Wild Things, they come into this game with a record of 8-5. They lead off with their center fielder, Andrew Heck. Batting second at shortstop will be Austin Wobrock. In the 3-hole, playing third base, Brian Haar. Batting cleanup tonight in right field, Dave Popkins. Batting fifth, the designated hitter, Ricky Rodriguez. And hitting sixth at first base will be Jimmy Yezzo. Batting seventh in left field tonight, Grant Fink. Batting eighth behind the plate, Alex McKeon. And batting ninth and playing at second base will be John Zizniewski. For the home Schaumburg Boomers, they enter this one record of 3-11. They lead off with their shortstop, Josh Gardiner. Batting second at second base will be Jordan Dean. In the 3-hole, designated hitter, Paul Kroenfeld. Batting cleanup in left field, Chris Robinson. In the 5 spot at third base, Mark Nelson. Batting sixth in right field is Dusty Robinson. Batting seventh and playing first base, Eno Patron. Batting eighth behind the plate, Mike Valadez. And rounding out the Boomers order and batting ninth in center field will be Sean Payne. On the mound for the Schaumburg Boomers, Josh Hedinger. He will be opposed by Tyler Garko. And Garko making the spot start today for the Washington Wild Things due to the fact that the Wild Things played a doubleheader against the Traverse City Beach Bums at home. And Trevor Foss would be scheduled to go today, but he is only on 4 days rest right now. So manager Greg Langben wanted to give him that extra day off and allow him the time to rest. So Tyler Garko benefits today. For Garko, looking at his numbers very quickly, Garko, this will be his third game for the Wild Things, his first start. He's on 2 2/3 innings. He's given up 7 runs, 4 of which earned, on 3 walks and 3 strikeouts at 13.50 ERA as he looks to lower that. He pitched in the Wild 13-inning affair against the Lake Erie Crushers, Game 1 of that series. The Joliet Slammers have just taken the field, and we are getting ready for the national anthem. And before that happens, we're going to take a look at our keys to the game for the Wild Things. For the Wild Things offensively, as we said, do what you did last night. Get a lot of hits, get on the board, and create opportunities offensively. This is an offense that when streaks start to happen, things go right for them, and they are able to score a lot of runs. So if they can create opportunities tonight, they're going to have a field day against the Schaumburg Boomers. The Wild Things looking for their first sweep of the 2016 season as they've taken the first 2 games here in Schaumburg, Illinois, looking to take Game 3 of this 3-game series with the Schaumburg Boomers. Getting ready for the national anthem here. So we are going to go down to the field and hear the national anthem here in Schaumburg, Illinois. You're listening to Washington Wild Things baseball right here on the MSA Sports Network. Going to take you down to the field right now for our national anthem on this Memorial Day weekend.
We'd like to take a moment of silence. We'd like to take a moment on this Memorial Day weekend to honor and remember all of the brave men and women who have made the ultimate sacrifice in service to our country, protecting the freedoms we all enjoy. Let us all observe a moment of silence to remember those who have given their lives in the line of duty, all POWs and all service members missing in action. Thank you. Please direct your attention to the flag of the United States of America. As authorized by the U.S. Congress, all veterans of the armed forces are invited to render the military salute at this time. Performed by Diane Strolecki, this is our national anthem.
Oh, say, can you see by the dawn's early light what so proudly we hailed at the twilight's last gleaming, whose broad stripes and bright stars through the perilous fight o'er the ramparts we watched were so gallantly streaming, and the rocket's red glare, the bombs bursting in air, gave proof through the night that our flag was still there. Oh, say does that star-spangled banner yet wave o'er the land of the free and the home of the brave.
We're back here on the MSA Sports Network. The national anthem performed here at Boomers Stadium in Schaumburg, Illinois, getting ready for Game 3 of this 3-game series between your Washington Wild Things and the Schaumburg Boomers. The Wild Things have taken the first 2 games of this series by scores of 5-0 and 6-4. As we're going to take one more break here on the Washington Wild Things pregame show, getting you ready for Game 3 of this 3-game series. Keep it tuned right here to the MSA Sports Network for more coverage of Washington Wild Things baseball.
How does a 120-year-old company like Henderson Brothers keep up in a world that changes every minute, that keeps throwing curveballs, that flaunts new technology, that demands responsiveness? The answer is simple. With expertise, we ensure the most successful corporations in the area, and they in turn recommend us. And for that, we're grateful. Henderson Brothers. Expect an expert.
We're back here on the MSA Sports Network's coverage of Washington Wild Things baseball, getting you ready for Game 3 of this 3-game series between your Washington Wild Things and the Schaumburg Boomers. I'm Zach Ziegler here on the MSA Sports Network. Boomers on the field, warming up for the top half of the first inning. And take a look at them defensively in the outfield left to right. It's Chris Robinson, Sean Payne, and Dusty Robinson. The left side of the infield held down by Nelson and Gardner. Right side by Dean and Patrone. And behind the plate will be Mike Valadez. On the mound for the Schaumburg Boomers will be Josh Hettinger. Hettinger, making his 3rd start of the season for these Boomers, has thrown 11 innings pitched, giving up 7 runs, 6 of which earned, on 12 hits, 2 walks, 7 strikeouts. His record sits at 0-1 with a 4.90 ERA. So for the Wild Things, these Boomers, 3-11, you got to put them in that here we go again situation. You can score on them early here, score some runs in the first inning, get them down, give your team some confidence, and give Garco a lead. Tyler Garco, as we said, making his first start for the Washington Wild Things this season as a spot start due to the doubleheader back on Wednesday against Traverse City. He comes up in the rotation here. And for Garco, just go out there and relax. Pitch your game. Act like it's coming out of the bullpen and work with what you got. You have opportunity here to start. Make the most of it. You're going to take one more look at your Wild Things lineup before they come to the plate. They'll lead off with center fielder Andrew Heck. Austin Wolbrock hits second. Brian Haar hits third. Cleaning up, Dave Popkins, then Ricky Rodriguez and Jimmy Yezzo. And 7, 8, 9, Grant Fink, Alex McKeon, and John Zizniewski. We're ready for baseball here in the top of inning number 1, game 3 of this 3-game series between your Washington Wild Things and the Schaumburg Boomers. And Andrew Heck stepping in to lead off the center fielder. Heck comes into this one hitting .250 with no home runs and 4 RBIs. Hettinger set. Here's his pitch. And it's a strike. No balls and a strike to start the game here in the top of inning number 1. First pitch thrown at 7:42 p.m. Eastern Time, and it's currently 78 degrees outside. First pitch time and temperatures brought to you by State Line Grocery and Hot Spot. The next pitch to Heck is a ball, 1 strike. Andrew Heck getting the start out there in center field tonight. Hettinger's pitch, and Heck takes this one high, ball 2. 2-1 the count. A gorgeous day here in Schaumburg, Illinois. Not too many clouds in the sky. A sun-drenched field here in Schaumburg, Illinois. We've had pretty good weather all weekend. The 2-1 is a called strike. 2 balls, 2 strikes. Had a little bit of rain before Friday night's game, but other than that, the weather has been pretty cooperative. Had mostly cloudy skies yesterday, but no rain. Some rain once the game was over, and today has just been a sun-drenched, gorgeous day. Hettinger's 2-2, and Heck takes low. Ball 3. 3-2 the count, so a full count to start the day. Austin Wobrock, the on-deck batter for your Wild Things. Wild Things enter this one looking for the sweep. Their record currently sits at 8-5. Hettinger's 3-2. And Andrew Heck, a soft roller to shortstop. Handled over there by Gardner. Throw to first, and the first baseman can't handle it. Heck will reach. It's a routine play over there to shortstop, and the throw was in the dirt, and they're going to call it an E6, but the Wild Things will have the first man of the game on with nobody out, and that brings up the shortstop, Austin Wobrock. Wobrock enters play tonight, .265, 1 home run, 6 RBIs. This is a very slow roller to Gardner at shortstop. Heck does have some speed, so Gardner did have to hurry his throw, but it was in the dirt and wasn't able to be handled over there by Patron at first base. Hettinger's pitch, and it's a called strike on Wobrock. No balls and a strike. 0-1 the count. Nobody out here in the top of the first. Just getting underway. Game 3 of this series between your Washington Wild Things and the Schaumburg Boomers. Throw over to first, and Heck is back. 0-1 the count on Wobrock. The Wild Things took yesterday's game, winning 5-0. Have taken the first 2 games of this series. Hettinger set. And the 0-1 to Wobrock. Wobrock takes inside, ball 1. 1 ball and 1 strike to count. Andrew Heck, the runner at first, he reached on an error to start the game for your Wild Things. Hettinger set, and the 1-1. Wobrock takes a strike on the outside corner. 1 ball, 2 strikes. Probably one of the best crowds we've had here at Boomers Stadium. A little more than halfway full tonight. 1 ball, 2 strikes to count on Wobrock. Nobody out in the top of the first. Hettinger's pitch, and a swing and a miss by Wobrock, and he is out number 1. First strikeout victim of the night for Josh Hettinger, and that'll bring up the third baseman, Brian Haar. Haar, 205, 4 home runs, 14 RBIs on the season. Andrew Heck, the runner at first, he reached on an error, and Austin Wobrock just struck out. Right-handed pitcher versus right-handed batter. Hettinger set, and the pitch to Haar. Throw over to first, and Heck is out. Initially signaled safe by the field umpire, but the umpire changed his mind, and Andrew Heck is picked off here, so now there are 2 away in the top of the first. As Heck was trying to get back there, he did a kind of half slide as he stepped, went to a knee, and it wasn't enough to beat the throw in there. As we said, the field umpire originally went safe and then changed his call to out. So Andrew Heck picked off a first base by Josh Hettinger, and there are 2 away. Hettinger's pitch, and that's outside, ball 1 to Brian Haar. 2 outs, top of the first. No score between your Wild Things and the Schaumburg Boomers. Game 3 of this 3-game series in Schaumburg, Illinois. Hettinger's 1-0, and that one's fouled away. 1 ball, 1 strike. 1-1 the count. 2 outs. Wild Things in their red alternate jerseys with the white letters. Schaumburg in their black alternate jerseys with orange lettering. Hettinger has his sign. He's set, and the 1-1. And Haar takes low, ball 2. 2 balls and a strike. Wild Things making Hettinger work here in inning number 1. He had to throw 6 pitches to Andrew Heck, 4-pitch at bat to Austin Wobrock, and now a 5-pitch at bat so far to Brian Haar. As he takes that for a strike, 2 balls, 2 strikes. 2-2, 2 outs, top of the first. Hettinger looks in, has his sign, and the 2-2. And a swing and a miss by Haar, and he strikes out. 2 strikeouts in the inning for the Wild Things. No runs, no hits, no errors, and nobody left. And after a half inning of play, the score, your Washington Wild Things 0, Schaumburg Boomers coming to bat. You're listening to Washington Wild Things baseball right here on the MSA Sports Network.
Hi, this is Hines Ward. If you're a high school sports fan, the place to go all year round is the MSA Sports Network. Log on every day to www.msasports.net for the schedules, the scores, the standings, the rankings, and of course, all of the broadcasts includes exclusive Whitfield playoffs and championship action. Anytime, anywhere, always there, the MSA Sports Network.
We're back here on the MSA Sports Network's coverage of Washington Wild Things baseball, getting ready to go here in the bottom of inning number 1, back in the top of the first. Your Wild Things, Andrew Heck reached on an error. Austin Wobrock struck out, then Andrew Heck was picked off at first base during the Brian Haar at-bat, and Brian Haar struck out to end the inning. On the mound for your Wild Things today, Tyler Garko. Garko appearing in his 3rd game, his first start for the Wild Things. He's thrown 2 2/3 innings on the year, giving up 7 runs, 4 of which earned on 7 hits, 3 walks, and 3 strikeouts. His record sits at 0-1 with a 13.50 ERA. Garko making the start today because of that doubleheader in Traverse City on Wednesday. Trevor Foss, the number 1 man in the Wild Things rotation, only on 4 days rest, so they wanted to get him on normal rest, and Garko gets the spot start today. Looking at the defensive alignment for your Wild Things, outfield left to right is Fink, Heck, and Popkins. The left side of the infield held down by Haar and Wobrock. Right side by Zizniewski and Yezo, and it's Alex McKeon behind the plate catching Tyler Garko. Going to take one more look at the lineup for the Schaumburg Boomers. They lead off with their shortstop Josh Gardner. Batting second, the second baseman Jordan Dean. Hitting third, designated hitter Paul Kroenfeld. In the cleanup spot in left field, Chris Robinson. Batting fifth, third baseman Mark Nelson. In the sixth spot in right field, Dusty Robinson. Batting seventh, first baseman Eno Petrone. In the eighth spot behind the plate, Mike Valadez. And batting ninth in center field will be Sean Payne. And Tyler Garko just finishing up his warm-up tosses here on the mound. And that'll bring up Josh Gardner to start things here in the bottom of the first. No score between your Washington Wild Things and the Schaumburg Boomers. Gardner on the year, .290 hitter, no home runs, and 2 RBIs. He was charged with the error back in the first inning that allowed Andrew Heck to reach. The shadow here in Schaumburg between the pitching mound and the home plate area. Kind of a difficulty for these batters early on. Here's Garko's first pitch. And it's a ball. 1 ball, no strikes. 1-0 the count. Here to Josh Gardner to start things in the bottom of the first. Garko making a spot start today. He's set in the 1-0. And that one's high as well. Ball 2. 2 balls, no strikes. Garko's last outing was in the 13-inning game with the Lake Erie Crushers. He pitched in the 12th and 13th, the 2-0. And that's inside, ball 3. So he starts the game. 3 straight balls to Josh Gardner here. Some first inning jitters for Garko as he looks to calm down. Garko's 3-0. And that's inside ball 4. So a 4-pitch walk to start the game. Puts the leadoff man on for the Boomers, and that'll bring up the second baseman, Jordan Dean. Dean on the year, 258, no home runs, 3 RBIs. Garko, not what you wanted out of the bullpen, but we'll see if he can strand him there at first base. It's still really early. Once he gets that first strike in there, those nerves will be gone. Garko's set, and the pitch. And that's a called strike. No balls and a strike here to Dean. We'll see if that's what Garko needed. From first inning jitters for Garko, making his first start of the year for the Wild Things. Garko checks Gardner at first. He's set, and the 0-1. Bunting is Dean, and this will go foul, so the count goes to 0-2. No balls, 2 strikes the count. Here on Jordan Dean, Josh Gardner at first after a 4-pitch walk to start things. Your Washington Wild Things looking for their first sweep of the 2016 season. As they took 2 or 3 from Gateway, and they've taken 2 or 3 from Traverse City, and so far took the first 2 games here in Schaumburg. Garko has his sign, checks Gardner at first, the 0-2. And that's outside, ball 1. Couldn't get Dean to chase. 1 ball, 2 strikes. 1-2 the count. Wind here today in Schaumburg, kind of blowing out towards right field. Been going back and forth all day. Garko looks into McKeon, has his sign. He's set, and the 1-2. And that's low, ball 2. Couldn't get Dean to fish. 2 balls, 2 strikes. 2-2 the count. No score between your Washington Wild Things and the Schaumburg Boomers here in the bottom of the first with nobody out. Josh Gardner at first. He reached on a walk. Garko looking in. Has his sign. He's set. Checks first. And the 2-2. And this one grounded to second. Zizniewski has it to Wobrock for 1 on to first. And it's a double play. Just what Tyler Garko needed here in the first. 4 to 6 to 3. And there are now 2 away here in the bottom of inning number 1. And that'll bring up the designated hitter, Paul Kroenfeld. Kroenfeld, 321, 2 home runs, 12 RBIs. Was the first baseman for the Boomers in last night's game. Garko has 2 outs here in inning number 1. He walked the leadoff man, then a double play by Jordan Dean. Garko's pitch, and that's way outside, ball 1. 1 ball, no strikes. Garko set in the 1-0. Swung on and missed by Kroenfeld. 1 ball, 1 strike. 1-1 the count. Garko's 1-1. And that's outside, ball 2. 2 balls and a strike here on the batter, Paul Kroenfeld. Right-hander Tyler Garko, left-hander Kroenfeld. The pitch. And that's low, ball 3. 3 balls and a strike. Garko's gone to 3-ball count on 2 of the first 3 batters for Schaumburg. He's set in the 3-1. And that's a called strike. 3 balls, 2 strikes. If the count goes full. On deck for the Boomers, Chris Robinson, if Paul Kroenfeld should reach. Garko's 3-2. Swing and a miss, and he strikes Kroenfeld out, and that will end the inning. No runs, no hits, no errors, nobody left. And after 1, the score, your Washington Wild Things nothing, Schaumburg Boomers nothing. You're listening to Washington Wild Things baseball right here on the MSA Sports Network.
PA Leadership Charter School is a proud sponsor of the Washington Wild Things. PALCS is a tuition-free online public school for K-12 students. PALCS can help your child hit a home run in their education through flexibility, student-to-teacher interaction, and socialization opportunities. Go to PALCS.org for more information. Go Wild Things!
PA Leadership Charter School, lead, don't follow.
We're back here on the MSA Sports Network's coverage of Washington Wild Things baseball. Going to the top of inning number 2. No score between your Washington Wild Things and the Schaumburg Boomers. Back in inning number 1, your Wild Things did get a base runner as Andrew Heck reached on an error by shortstop Josh Gardner. Then Austin Wobrock struck out, and Heck was picked off of first base by starting pitcher Josh Hettinger. Then after that, Brian Haar would strike out, and that would end the inning for your Washington Wild Things. Due up in this half inning for the Wild Things, Dave Popkins, Ricky Rodriguez, and Jimmy Yezzo. 4, 5, and 6 to face Hettinger. Sundays are Kids Club days at Consol Energy Park. Children 12 and under can join the club for free. They get lots of perks, including a t-shirt, giveaway items, and free tickets to all Kids Club days. For more information, log on to WashingtonWildThings.com or call the box office at 855-456-WILD. The Kids Club is sponsored by Kona Ice, Med Express, PA Leadership Charter School, Pepsi, and Frito-Lay. Dave Popkins getting ready to step in, and we are ready for baseball here in the top of inning number 2. Popkins on the year, 326, 2 home runs, 2 RBIs. Is the leader on this team in average with that 326 average. Hettinger set and the first pitch. And Popkins will take outside for a ball. 1 ball, no strikes. 1-0 the count here to Dave Popkins. Got some planes flying in the background. An airport a couple miles away here in Schaumburg as that pitch is low, ball 2. 2-0 the count here on the Wild Things right fielder. No score in the top of the second, nobody out. Hettinger looks in, has his sign, and the 2-0 to Popkins. And that is a called strike at the letters, 2 balls and a strike. Popkins not really agreeing with it, but he'll step in. He had 2 strikeouts last night. Didn't really agree with either of them as he was called out both times. Hettinger's 2-1. And Popkins takes in the zone, 2 balls, 2 strikes. Count even here on Dave Popkins. As we said, the leader in average on this team with 326 coming into tonight. Hettinger set the 2-2. And Popkins hits this one foul down the left field line, so the count sticks right at 2 balls, 2 strikes. Popkins, the cleanup hitter for the Wild Things in these last couple games, and the Wild Things offense really starting to get going. As we had a lot of averages under the 100 mark about a week ago. They're really starting to hit the ball better, and that's a good sign for these Wild Things. The 2-2 is outside, ball 3. 3 balls, 2 strikes, the Wild Things cleanup man. And the designated hitter, Ricky Rodriguez, on deck. Hettinger looks in, has his sign, and the 3-2. And this ball grounded to the right side and foul, so the count will stay full. 3 balls, 2 strikes. Full count here on Dave Popkins, and we talked about it in inning number 1. These Wild Things batters really making Josh Hettinger work here in inning number 1. A 3-2 count to Andrew Heck, a 1-2 count to Austin Wolbrock, and a 2-2 count to Brian Haar. The pitch, and Popkins grounds this towards the right, and that will go foul as well. Another battle brewing here between Dave Popkins and Josh Hettinger. The 8th pitch of the at-bat is coming up. 2 straight foul balls by Dave Popkins with full count. 3 balls, 2 strikes. Popkins batting lefty against the right-hander Josh Hettinger. Hettinger's 3-2. And Popkins takes high, ball 4, so the leadoff man will reach for the 2nd straight inning for the Wild Things, and that'll bring up the designated hitter, Ricky Rodriguez. Rodriguez enters today 208, 2 home runs, 5 RBIs for Rodriguez. Dave Popkins at first after his walk. Nobody out here in the top of the 2nd. No score between your Washington Wild Things and the Schaumburg Boomers. Hettinger set the pitch, and Rodriguez takes for a strike. No balls and a strike. 0-1 the count. Wild Things have had the leadoff man reach here in the first 2 innings. Hettinger set and the 0-1. And Rodriguez takes this one off the outside corner. 1 ball, 1 strike. 1-1 the count to the Wild Things DH. Hettinger only 2 walks through his first 2 starts. The 1-1. And Rodriguez, a fly ball towards right center field. Payne a couple steps over, and it's dropped out there in the outfield. Dusty Robinson couldn't close his glove on it. Sean Payne was giving chase. Robinson called him off, and Robinson couldn't hold on to the ball. So Ricky Rodriguez in on the E9, and there are now runners at second and third here with nobody out. He had to deal with the sun out there in right field, and that might have caused some problems as he got onto the ball and just didn't close his glove around it. And it gives the Wild Things 2 men in scoring position for Jimmy Yezzo. Yezzo, 163, 2 home runs, 4 RBIs on the year. Yezzo homered in game 1 of this 3-game series. Hettinger set, and the pitch to Yezzo. And that's a strike, no balls and a strike. Nobody out here in the top of the second. Wild Things have runners at second and third with nobody out. Popkins at third after he walked, and Ricky Rodriguez at second after his fly ball was dropped in right field. The pitch. Yezzo takes outside for a ball. 1 ball, 1 strike. 1-1 the count to Jimmy Yezzo. Nobody out, top of the second. 2 men in scoring position for the Wild Things. Hettinger set. The pitch. Yezzo ground to the right side, but that goes foul. Count goes to 1-2. 1 ball, 2 strikes the count to the Wild Things first baseman, Jimmy Yezzo. Popkins at third, Rodriguez at second. Wild Things have 2 on without the courtesy of a hit. Yezzo looking for the first Wild Things hit in the game. The pitch. And Yezzo grounds this one to second. Jordan Dean will handle it. He'll throw into first. Meanwhile, the first run of the game is in as the RBI ground out by Jimmy Yezzo makes it a 1-0 Wild Things lead here in inning number 2. Yezzo does his job there, grounds the ball to the right side of the infield and allows that run to come in. And that will bring up the number 7 hitter, Grant Fink. Fink out in left field tonight. Did not play in last night's ball game. Wild Things lead 1-0 here in the top of the second. 1 out. Ricky Rodriguez at third as the Schaumburg infield comes in. The pitch. And Fink, a ground ball, base hit. Ricky Rodriguez will score, and the Wild Things take a 2-0 lead. RBI single by Grant Fink. With that infield drawn in, shot it through the right side and found a hole, and it goes to the outfield. Fink on. Fink, that's his 6th RBI of the year, hitting 143 coming into today's game, and that'll bring up the catcher, Alex McKeon. McKeon, 222, no home runs, no RBIs. Wild Things lead 2-0 here in the top of the second, and the pitch. McKeon swings and misses. No balls and a strike. 0-1 the count, 2-0 Wild Things lead here in the top of inning number 2. As Popkins and Rodriguez have both scored. Grant Fink at first. And the pitch. McKeon, a fly ball to left field, and this will get down in front of the left fielder Robinson. So back-to-back singles for the Wild Things have them back in business. Runners at first and second with 1 away. And that'll bring up the number 9 hitter, John Zizniewski. Zizniewski on the year. Hitting .080, no home runs, 2 RBIs. As coming out to the mound for a discussion will be the Boomers pitching coach. 2 on here, 2 runs already in the inning for the Wild Things as Dave Popkins started things out with a walk. Then Ricky Rodriguez hit a deep fly ball to right field that Dusty Robinson couldn't handle out there. He dropped it as he couldn't close his glove around it. That gave the Wild Things runners at second and third with nobody out. Then Jimmy Yezzo, a ground out to second base, drove in the first run of the game, making it 1-0 Washington Wild Things. Then Grant Fink, one batter next up with the infield in, an RBI single to right field, scoring Rodriguez and giving your Wild Things a 2-0 lead here in Game 3 of this 3-game series. Currently, John Zizniewski up with 2 on and 1 out in the top of the second. As Grant Fink stands at second after he singled, and Alex McKeon at first base following his single. Hettinger looks in. He has his sign. He's set. And the 0-1. And Zizniewski, a fly ball just beyond the first base bag, giving chase towards foul territory, and now it'll go out of play. Count goes to 0-1 on Zizniewski. No balls and a strike for the Wild Things second baseman. in the number 9 hole today. So he gets his second straight start. He's been splitting time with Justin Fox at second base. Wisniewski getting the start against the righty Hettinger. Hettinger set, checks Fink at second, the 0-1. And Wisniewski, another fly ball. This will get back into the seats as well. Foul, no balls, 2 strikes. 0-2 the count here on John Wisniewski. 2 in for the Wild Things already. They're up 2-0 here in the top of inning number 2. RBI ground out by Jimmy Yezzo and an RBI single by Grant Fink has put the Wild Things on the board. Hettinger set and the 0-2. Wisniewski checks his swing and they call him out on strikes. That is out number 1. Or out number 2, excuse me. 2 away here in the top of the second. And that'll bring up the center fielder, Andrew Heck. Heck today 0 for 1. Came in as a defensive replacement a night ago for Jamal Austin. And ended up going 0 for 2. No, 1 for 2 in that outing last night. Hettinger set, here's the pitch. Heck takes for a strike, no balls and a strike. 0-1 the count. Here on the Wild Things center fielder, Andrew Heck. Grant Fink at second, he singled. Alex McKeon at first, he singled. Hettinger's 0-1. And that's a called strike on Heck, no balls, 2 strikes. 0-2, 2 outs, top of the second. Wild Things lead 2-0 over the Schaumburg Boomers. Game 3 of this 3-game series. The Wild Things have taken the first 2. Hettinger set and the 0-2. And that's high, ball 1. 1 ball, 2 strikes the count here on Andrew Heck. Wild Things coming to this contest 8-5 their record. So a good start to the season for your Washington Wild Things. Have taken the first 2 games of this road trip. Hettinger's 1-2. Takes outside, ball 2. Count even, 2 balls, 2 strikes. Wild Things also come into this game with a 4-game winning streak. They took the last 2 against the Traverse City Beach Bums and have taken the first 2 here against the Schaumburg Boomers. Hettinger set and the 2-2. And Heck down the left field line. That's foul. Count sticks, 2 balls, 2 strikes. Grant Fink, the runner at second. Alex McKeon, the runner at first. For the Wild Things, looking to add more here. Already 2 in the inning. Jimmy Yezzo RBI ground out and a Grant Fink RBI single. Hettinger looks in, has his sign. And the 2-2. Heck takes low, ball 3. 3 balls, 2 strikes, and 2 outs here in the top of inning number 2. Austin Wobrock on deck. This inning started with a Dave Popkins walk. It's the leadoff man going on for the second inning. The 3-2, runners take off, and a swing and a miss by Heck. That is out number 3. But the Wild Things do get 2 runs in the inning on 2 hits, no errors, and 2 men left. And after 1.5, the score, your Washington Wild Things 2, Schaumburg Boomers nothing. You're listening to Washington Wild Things baseball right here on the MSA Sports Network.
PA Leadership Charter School is a proud sponsor of the Washington Wild Things. PALCS is a tuition-free online public school for K-12 students. PALCS can help your child hit a home run in their education through flexibility, student-to-teacher interaction, and socialization opportunities. Go to PALCS.org for more information. Go Wild Things!
PA Leadership Charter School. Lead, don't follow.
We're back here on the MSA Sports Network's coverage of Washington Wild Things baseball. Going to the bottom of inning number 2. Your Wild Things an early 2-0 lead over the Schaumburg Boomers. Got both of those runs in last inning, as Dave Popkins would start things off with a walk. Then Ricky Rodriguez, a fly ball to right field that Dusty Robinson just couldn't get his glove around. That gave the Wild Things runners at second and third with nobody out before Jimmy Yezzo, an RBI ground out to second base, drove in Dave Popkins for the first run of the game. Then Grant Fink, the next batter, hit an RBI single out through the drawn-in infield on the right side to score Rodriguez and make it 2-0. Alex McKeon would add a single to give the Wild Things runners at first and second with one out. Then John Zizniewski and Andrew Heck, back-to-back strikeouts, would end the inning. Tyler Garko out there for his second inning of work. First inning, walked the leadoff man, got a double play, and then struck out Paul Kroenfeld to end things in the first. Due up for the Boomers here in this half of the inning, Chris Robinson, Mark Nelson, and Dusty Robinson. As Chris Robinson stepping in here, the number 4 hitter in this Schaumburg Boomer lineup. Robinson on the year, .217, 1 home run, 4 RBIs. It's Tyler Garko in there for his second inning of work, making the spot start today. Garko looks into McKeon, has his sign, the pitch. And that's a strike, no balls and a strike. 0-1 the count here on Chris Robinson. Had a 2 RBI triple in game 1 of this series, part of a 4-run first inning. Garko's 0-1. And that one is just high, ball 1. 1 ball, 1 strike. The count on Chris Robinson. Garko looking in, has his sign quickly, the 1-1. And Robinson fouls this one away, 1 ball, 2 strikes. 1-2 the count. 2 runs on 2 hits last inning for the Wild Things. They did leave 2 on. Schaumburg still looking for their first hit in the ball game. Garko looks in, the 1-2. And that's outside, ball 2. 2 balls, 2 strikes. Nobody out, the leadoff man, Chris Robinson. Here in the second inning, he's the cleanup man in the lineup. Garko set in the 2-2. Nope, time is called. Behind home plate as Chris Robinson granted time. Decent crowd here in Schaumburg, just over half full at Boomers Stadium. Garko's 2-2, and Robinson laces this one towards the seats. Watch out over there as that one goes foul, and the count sticks at 2 balls and 2 strikes. Nice save over there by a dad in the stands, saving his little baby. Nice catch. 2 balls, 2 strikes, nobody out, Garko's pitch. And that's inside, ball 3. 3-2 the count. Mark Nelson, the third baseman, on deck for the Schaumburg Boomers. Crystal clear skies here in Schaumburg, Illinois. Garko's 3-2. And that's inside, ball 4. So another leadoff walk gives the Boomers the leadoff man on base, and that'll bring up the third baseman, Mark Nelson. Nelson on the year, hitting .200, no home runs, 7 RBIs. Has been the third baseman in both games of this 3-game series. Wild Things lead 2-0 here in the bottom of the second. Garko has his sign, checks Robinson at first, the pitch. And that's outside, ball 1. 1 ball, no strikes the count. Here on Mark Nelson. Garko, the right-handed pitcher, versus Nelson, the left-handed batter. Garko set, checks Robinson, and the 1-0. And that's outside, ball 2. 2 balls, no strikes, the count here on Mark Nelson. Wild Things lead 2-0 here in the bottom of inning number 2. Garko set, and the 2-0. And that's outside, ball 3. 3 balls, no strikes. One thing for Garko is he's had trouble finding the zone early on. The first inning, a 4-pitch walk to the leadoff man for the Boomers. And now here, down 3-0 to Mark Nelson. The pitch, and that's a called strike. 3 balls and a strike. 3-1 the count here from Boomer Stadium. Bottom of inning number 2, Wild Things lead 2-0. Garko, the Glendora, California native, 6'2", 195. Pitch, and that's a called strike just on the outside corner. Count goes full, 3 balls, 2 strikes, with Dusty Robinson on deck for the Schaumburg Boomers. Garko looks in. Pitch for the Roswell Invaders last year. The 3-2. And this one fouled away towards the lawn. Count sticks, 3 balls, 2 strikes, as Chris Robinson took off for second base on the play. He'll have to go back. Robinson at first. He walked to lead off the inning, a full count walk. Garko looking in, has his sign. He's set in the 3-2. There goes Robinson again. This one hit towards right field. Popkins coming on. He's not going to make the catch. Robinson around second, heading to third. The throw over will be cut off. So with nobody out, the Schaumburg Boomers have runners at first and third with nobody out, and that'll bring up Dusty Robinson, the right fielder. Robinson, that big error back in the top of this inning, could make up for it here with runners at first and third and nobody out. Robinson hitting 187, no home runs, 5 RBIs. Looking to come through here. Garko trying to shut things down. Nobody out. Bottom second, Dusty Robinson, the batter. Garko has his sign, checks Chris Robinson at third, the pitch. And that's a strike, no balls and a strike. 0-1 the count. Dusty Robinson, no relation to Chris Robinson over there at third base. Robinson played last night, got game 1 of this series off. Garko's 0-1. Robinson up the middle, that'll be a base hit. Chris Robinson will come in to score from third base, and Schaumburg cuts the lead in half. It's now 2-1 with runners at first and second, and still nobody out for Tyler Garko here in the bottom of inning number 2. Robinson just went with the pitch and lined it up the middle, and it fell in for the base hit. So with nobody out, that'll bring up the first baseman, Eno Patron. For Patron on the year, 277, 2 home runs, 11 RBIs. Got the night off last night. He's back in there at first base tonight. Paul Kroenfeld was the first baseman in last night's contest. Mark Nelson at second, he singled. Dusty Robinson hit his single, he's at first base. Corners in, infield double play depth. The pitch. And this ball hit the right field and deep. Popkins going back, and he will watch it sail out of here. Eno Patron, a 3-run home run, and Schaumburg takes the lead. It's now 4-1 or 4-2 here in the bottom of inning number 2. A 4-2 lead now for the Schaumburg Boomers as that pitch was rocked to right field and went out. Schaumburg now leads 4-2 for Eno Patron, his 3rd home run of the year. RBIs 12, 13, and 14. And that'll bring up the catcher, Mike Valadez. 4 runs in the inning for the Schaumburg Boomers. They now lead 4-2. Wild Things scored 2 in the top of the inning, and Garko still does not have an out. He's set. Here's the pitch. And that's a strike. No balls and a strike. 0-1 the count. Eno Patron just took the first pitch. It was over the plate, and he blasted it out to right. Garko's 0-1. And that's a called strike on the outside corner. No balls, 2 strikes. 0-2 the count. Game 3 of this 3-game series. Schaumburg leads 4-2 over your Wild Things. Garko's 0-2. And that one grounded to the right side. Yezo has it. He'll take it to the bag himself, and that is out number 1. So Garko responds after giving up the 3-run home run in the second, and that'll bring up the center fielder, Sean Payne. Payne, 063 with a home run and 2 RBIs. Hit his home run in the first game of this 3-game series. As Garko wants to change baseballs. And we are ready in the bottom of the second. 1 out. Schaumburg leads 4-2 after a 3-run home run by Eno Patron. And an RBI single by Dusty Robinson have brought in 4 runs here in the bottom of inning number 2. And time is called here at the plate as Sean Payne thought Garko was taking too long. Payne, the Stone Mountain, Georgia native, played for the Garden State Grays a year ago, 6'1", 220. Garko's pitch, and it's inside, ball 1. 1 ball, no strikes, the count to the Boomer center fielder. Right-handed pitcher Garko, right-handed batter Sean Payne. Garko's 1-0. And Payne takes low, ball 2. 2 balls, no strikes the count. Wild Things down 4-2 here in the bottom of the second with 1 out. Garko's 2-0. And that's way inside, dusting Payne off the plate. 3 balls, no strikes, and Garko, as we said, has been wild all night. Looking to find the strike zone here against Payne. 4 runs in already in the inning. Garko's 3-0. And that's in there for a strike. 3 balls and a strike. 3-1 the count here. Garko, a couple little struggles on the mound. Looking to get through them. Wild Things down 2. It's 4-2 here in Schaumburg. The pitch. And that's a called strike. 3 balls, 2 strikes. 3-2 the count here to Sean Payne. Game 3 of this 3-game series from Schaumburg, Illinois. Your Wild Things will travel to Normal to take on the Corn Belters after this. The 3-2, grounded towards the middle. Zizniewski, backhanded stab, throw to first, and that is out number 2, 4-3 on the putout. That'll bring it to shortstop Josh Gardner. Gardner, no official at bat yet today. He walked his first time up. Last night was 0 for 4 in Game 2 of this contest. Gardner was also 1 for 3 the night before. So 1 for 7 in the series for Josh Gardner. Garko set, here's the pitch. And that's slow, ball 1. 1-0 the count, 1 strikeout for Garko on the day through 1 2/3. Giving up 4 runs, the 1-0. And that's outside, ball 2. 2 balls, no strikes the count. Here to Gardner, the shortstop. Wild Things down 4-2, 2 outs in the bottom of the second. Garko looks in, has his sign. Here's the 2-0. And this one hit the center field. Coming on is Andrew Heck. Out is Zizniewski, and it'll fall into no man's land for a 2-out single. Zizniewski gave chase behind second base. Andrew Heck came in, and neither of them could make the catch as it fell right in between them in no man's land. That'll bring up the second baseman, Jordan Dean. Dean last night 0 for 3 with a walk. Josh Gardner at first base. Gardner reached on a 2-out single. Garko looking to get out of inning number 2. He's given up 4 runs already in the inning. He's set the pitch. And this one hit to right field. Popkins going over on his horse, and he will make a nice running catch for out number 3. But the Boomers do score 4 runs in the inning on 4 hits, no errors, and a man left. And after 2, the score, Schaumburg 4, your Washington Wild Things 2. You're listening to Washington Wild Things baseball right here on the MSA Sports Network.
You just never know how your day is going to go. The same holds true at Penn Station East Coast Subs. For some unsuspecting spuds, they start their day as Idaho potatoes, only to be transformed into hand-hewn fries. Unlucky for them, good for you. However, both your days get better because the fries get a sidle up next to a perfectly grilled Philly cheesesteak. Then, on their way to their final resting place, they get bathed in citric nectar, our signature lemonade. Wherever your day takes you, we recommend Penn Station be one of the stops.
We're back here on the MSA Sports Network's coverage of Washington Wild Things baseball. Going to the top of inning number 3, your Wild Things currently down 4-2 in Game 3 of this 3-game series. 4 runs in for the Boomers in the bottom half of the second as Chris Robinson would start things off with a walk, then singles by Mark Nelson and Dusty Robinson made the game 2-1. The Wild Things would lead, and then the next batter, Eno Patron, a 3-run home run that made the score 4-2, Schaumburg over your Wild Things. Wild Things looking to get back here now in the top of the inning number 3. It'll be Austin Wobrock, Brian Haar, and Dave Popkins. As Wobrock stepping in now, we're ready for baseball here in the third. Wobrock today 0 for 1 with a strikeout. In last night's game, Wobrock was 2 for 5. He singled twice in that contest. Wild Things down 4-2 here in the top of the third, looking to get the bats going. Hettinger looks in. He's set. Here's his pitch. And Wobrock grounded to the right side. That'll go foul. No balls and a strike just past the first base bag. 0-1 the count here on Wobrock. Hettinger set. Looks in. Has his sign. The pitch. And Wobrock takes outside for a ball. 1 ball, 1 strike. 1-1 the count on the Wild Things shortstop. Getaway day for the Wild Things. It traveled to Normal right after this game for a 3-game set Tuesday, Wednesday, and Thursday, the 1-1. And that's outside, ball 2. 2 balls and a strike here to Wobrock. Right now, looking out at the flagpoles, not much wind here, which is a rarity in Schaumburg. The 2-1. And that's way outside, ball 3. 3 balls and a strike. Wild Things looking to get the leadoff man on for the 3rd straight inning. As Andrew Heck reached on an error in inning number 1, and Dave Popkins walked to lead things off in inning number 2, the 3-1. Wobrock, a big swing and a miss. 3 balls, 2 strikes. 3-2 the count here on Wobrock. Josh Hettinger has his sign, his 3rd inning of work. He's set to 3-2. And it's low, ball 4, so Wobrock will walk, and the Wild Things have the leadoff man on for the 3rd straight inning. That'll bring up their number 3 hitter, Brian Haar. Haar today 0 for 1 with a strikeout. Last night, a big day for Brian Haar, 2 for 3. A double and a triple drove in 2 of the team's 5 runs in that game. Hettinger set, and the pitch to Haar. And that's a strike, no balls and a strike. Austin Wobrock, the runner at first, he reached on a walk. 2 runs on 2 hits for the Wild Things, 4 runs on 4 hits for the Boomers. Hettinger set, and throw over. Wobrock's back. Hettinger got 1 man already today. As Andrew Heck reached inning number 1, he picked him off at first base. Hettinger looks in, has his sign, the 0-1. And Haar takes high for a ball. 1 ball, 1 strike. Haar, as we said, has been heating up. He's had a very good series here in Schaumburg. Drove in 4 runs in game 1, drove in 2 runs last night. The 1-1. And Haar towards center field. Coming in is Payne, a slide, and he can't make the catch. It'll fall in front of him. We'll see. Probably give that a single for Brian Haar. They will give it a single. As Sean Payne, having to make the sliding effort, couldn't come up with it in his glove, and there were runners at first and second with nobody out for Dave Popkins. Popkins, no official at bat today, as he is walked. And in last night's game, Popkins was 2 for 4, 2 singles and 2 strikeouts. The leading RBI man on this team a year ago has a man in scoring position now. Hettinger set. And the pitch. Popkins takes outside for a ball. 1 ball, no strikes. 4 runs in for the Boomers in the bottom half of the second. The Wild Things looking to respond here in the top of the third. Hettinger set. Checks Wobrock at second. The pitch. Popkins takes outside, ball 2. 2 balls, no strikes, the count. Popkins, 2 RBIs on the year. Both RBIs coming in via the home run. Hettinger set, checks Wobrock. And the pitch. Popkins inside, ball 3. Count goes to 3-0 here, and Hettinger in danger of loading the bases with nobody out. 3 balls, no strikes. Hettinger has his sign. He's set, and the 3-0. And that's outside, ball 4. A 4-pitch walk to Dave Popkins has loaded the bases. Bases full of Wild Things here with nobody out for the designated hitter, Ricky Rodriguez. Rodriguez 0 for 1 reached on a bizarre play back in the first as he had a deep fly ball to right field. Dusty Robinson gave chase out there and just couldn't close his glove around the ball. He was blinded by the sun, couldn't make the catch. That gave the Wild Things runners at second and third and led to the first run of the game for the Wild Things as Dave Popkins would be at third. He'd be driven in on the Jimmy Yezzo ground out. And then Grant Fink, one batter later, would get the RBI single. Ricky Rodriguez up, Wild Things down 4-2, but they have the bases loaded with nobody out. Wobrock at third, Haar at second, Popkins at first. The pitch. Rodriguez takes low for a ball. 1 ball, no strikes. Hedinger facing a lot of batters in the last couple innings. Faced 7 in the second. Has allowed the first 3 to reach here in the third. The pitch. That's inside, ball 2. 2 balls, no strikes. Rodriguez 5 RBIs on the year, and this his 8th game off the disabled list. So he's been doing really well at the dish. He's already had a walk-off hit this year. The 2-0. That's way inside, almost hit him, ball 3. 7 straight balls here from Josh Hedinger, and he's in danger of walking in a run. Hedinger set, the 3-0. That's a called strike on Rodriguez. 3 balls and a strike. That one just hit the inside corner. 3-1 the count, bases full of Wild Things. Austin Wobrock at third. He walked. Brian Haar at second after a single. Dave Popkins at first. The pitch. And Rodriguez a grounded to third. Diving stop by Nelson. Steps on third for 1. Throw to second for 2. And that's all they're going to get. Double play. A run does come in as Wobrock will score. Double play 5-4. They tried to get the triple play, but were unable to do that. So Dave Popkins and Brian Haar both erased. Meanwhile, a run does come in, and your Wild Things now down by 1, 4-3 the score. And that will bring up the first baseman, Jimmy Yezzo. Not exactly what you wanted if you're the Wild Things, but you will take it as a run comes in. 2 lead men erased. It would have been a very nice play if they could have turned the triple play. Mark Nelson was trying his hardest. He made a sliding stop near third, quickly stepped on the third base bag and threw it over to Jordan Dean at second, but Dean just didn't have time to get Ricky Rodriguez as Rodriguez beat it. And Dean had no throw. So Jimmy Yezzo steps in. Yezzo 0 for 1 with an RBI. Ground out to second, scored Dave Popkins. That brought in the first run of the game. Wild Things down 4-3. Yezzo last night 0 for 3 with a walk. Hedinger set, checks Rodriguez at first, and the pitch. And that's outside for a ball, 1 ball, no strikes. 1-0 the count on the Wild Things first baseman. Wild Things down 1 here in the top of the third, it's 4-3. Hedinger set, and the 1-0. And Yezzo takes outside again, 2 balls, no strikes. 2-0 the count here. Ricky Rodriguez at first. No RBI for Rodriguez as he hits into the double play. Throw to first, Rodriguez back. Double play, scoring Austin Wobrock from third base. Hedinger looks into Yezzo. Has his sign and the 2-0. And that's a called strike. Just off the outside corner, 2-1. 2-1 the count. Crystal clear sky now here in Schaumburg, Illinois as the sun starts to set. Hedinger set. The 2-1. And that's high, ball 3. 3 balls and a strike the count here to Yezzo. 2 outs in the top of the third. Wild Things down 4-3 to the Schaumburg Boomers. Hedinger set. The 3-1. And this one grounded to second. Dean has it. He'll throw to first. And that is out number 3. The Wild Things do get another run in the inning on 1 hit, no errors, and a man left. And after 2.5, the score. Schaumburg Boomers 4, your Wild Things 3. You're listening to Washington Wild Things baseball right here on the MSA Sports Network.
When looking to replace your athletic field, choose ProGrass, first in turf. ProGrass has installed over 500 fields in the U.S. Getting the best artificial turf for your field depends upon both the product and the partner you choose. That's why architects, athletic directors, and players choose the ProGrass Performance System. ProGrass maintains an active presence in the field turf industry as members of the Sports Turf Management Association and the American Sports Builder Association, and is proud to be recognized as a FIFA preferred manufacturer. Call ProGrass today at 866-270-6003 or visit them on the web at www.progressturf.com. ProGrass, first in turf.
We're back here on the MSA Sports Network's coverage of Washington Wild Things baseball, going to the bottom of the third. Wild Things currently down 4-3 in Game 3 of this series against Schaumburg. Wild Things got another run in the top of inning number 3. It could have been much more, as they started the inning off with a walk to Austin Wobrock, then a single by Brian Harn, a walk to Dave Popkins, loaded the bases. Ricky Rodriguez came up and hit into a double play, grounded the ball to third base, and Mark Nelson, the third baseman, stepped on third base, for out number 1, through to second for 2. They almost had a shot at 3, but Ricky Rodriguez was too quick down the line, beat any chance that the Boomers would have at turning a triple play. The Wild Things did score a run on that play. It made it 4-3, and Jimmy Yezzo grounded out to second to end the third inning. Due up for the Schaumburg Boomers here in inning number 3, Paul Kroenfeld, Chris Robinson, and Mark Nelson, 3, 4, and 5 for the Boomers. Don't forget about the Antonio Brown Softball Challenge, which will be contested at Consol Energy Park on June the 11th. Tickets for the event are available at the box office or online. For more information, give them a call at 866-456-WILD. Starting baseball here in the bottom of the third, Paul Kroenfeld steps in. Kroenfeld 0 for 1 with a strikeout. Garco's pitch, and that's outside, ball 1. Kroenfeld last night 2 for 4, 2 doubles. It's 1-0 the count. Here to Kroenfeld, Garco's pitch, and Kroenfeld fouls this one away. 1 ball, 1 strike. 1-1 the count as the kids scurry out there on the lawn for that foul ball. Lots of lawn areas in this Frontier League for families to relax. Nice family atmosphere at Consol Energy or at any other of the Frontier League stadiums. Here's the 1-1 from Garco. And this one laced foul towards those seats. 1 ball, 2 strikes the count. 1-2 the count. Garco looking in. 1 ball, 2 strikes the count here to Paul Kroenfeld. Garco's 1-2. And that's high and outside, ball 2. 2 balls, 2 strikes, nobody out bottom third. Tyler Garco making a spot start for these Washington Wild Things. Garco's 2-2. And Kroenfeld takes inside and low, ball 3. Count goes full, 3 balls, 2 strikes. Chris Robinson, the left fielder, on deck. The leadoff man has reached in every half inning, both for the Wild Things and the Boomers. Garco's 3-2. Swing and a miss, and it's the first time that the leadoff man will not reach as Kroenfeld strikes out, and that's out number 1 here in inning number 3.
Number 13,
That'll bring up the left fielder, Chris Robinson. Robinson, no official at bat yet. He walked and scored in his first time. Last night, Robinson was 1 for 4 with a single. Garco here in his 3rd inning of work in this spot start. Garco's first pitch. Robinson bunting, pulls back and takes a strike. 0-1 the count. Garco only faced 3 men in inning number 1, and then had 8 men come to the plate in inning number 2, where he gave up 4 runs. Garco's 0-1. And that's a strike. No balls, 2 strikes. 0-2 the count here on Chris Robinson. Tyler Garco, his first start of the 2016 season. His 3rd appearance. Garco's 0-2. And this one hit to center field. Heck, going a couple steps to his right, he'll make the catch. That's out number 2. So after giving up those 4 runs last inning, 2 away quickly here in the bottom of inning number 3, and that'll bring up the 3rd baseman, Mark Nelson. Nelson 1 for 1. He singled on the day. Nelson last night, 1 for 4 with a single. It's Tyler Garko on the mound. Right-handed pitcher, left-handed batter. Garko's first pitch is low, ball 1. 1 ball, no strikes, just below the knees and off that outside corner. Garko set in the 1-0. And that's a called strike this time on the outside corner. 1 ball, 1 strike. 1-1 the count here. Tyler Garko has 2 outs in the bottom of the third. Wild Things down 4-3. Here's the 1-1. And that's inside ball 2. 2 balls and a strike. Wild Things have taken the first 2 games of this series by scores of 5-0 and 6-4. Garko's 2-1. And that's a strike. 2 balls, 2 strikes. Currently down 1 here, 4-3. The score in this contest. Garko looking in. Here's the 2-2. And that one's hit foul. Back to the screen. Count remains even. 2 balls, 2 strikes. 2-2, 2 outs. 2 hits in this 3-game series for Mark Nelson. 1 hit last night. He's went 1 for 4 and 1 tonight. He was 0 for the first night. Garko's 2-2. And that one's also chopped foul. Watch out over there at the Boomers dugout. 2 balls, 2 strikes the count. Two and 2 the count. Here on Mark Nelson. Garko's 2-2. That's way inside. Almost gets him. 3 balls, 2 strikes. 3-2, 2 outs. Garko, the right-handed pitcher, versus Nelson, the left-handed batter. Wild Things defense pretty straight up, the 3-2. And this one grounded to second base. Zizniewski handles it over there, throw to first, and that's the first 1-2-3 inning for Tyler Garko. No runs, no hits, no errors, and nobody left. After 3, the score. The Schaumburg Boomers lead it 4-3. You're listening to Washington Wild Things baseball right here on the MSA Sports Network.
Be sure to check out MSASports.net every day this spring for the scores, the daily standings, and the weekly rankings, plus daily high school sports broadcasts as well. In May, we will have exclusive coverage of the WPIAL baseball and softball playoffs, the WPIAL boys volleyball and tennis championships, and the WPIAL boys and girls track and lacrosse championships. Anytime, anywhere, always there, every day this spring on the MSA Sports Network.
We're back here on the MSA Sports Network's coverage of Washington Wild Things baseball. Going to the top of inning number 4, the score, Schaumburg 4, your Washington Wild Things 3. Last inning for the Wild Things, they would get the bases loaded with nobody out as Austin Wobrock walked, Brian Haar singled, and Dave Popkins walked to load the bases. Then Ricky Rodriguez, a rally killer, hit into a double play, a sharp ground ball to Mark Nelson at third base. Nelson made the sliding stop, stepped on third for 1, threw to Jordan Dean at second for 2, but they just didn't have any time to make the out at first for out number 3. So Rodriguez would reach. Austin Wobrock would score to make the score 4-3, and the inning would end on a Jimmy Yezzo ground out. Do it for the Wild Things here in the 4th, 7, 8, and 9. Grant Fink, Alex McKeon, and John Zizniewski. If you haven't heard, country artist Chris Young will be in concert at Consol Energy Park on August the 25th. Tickets for that event are available at Ticketmaster.com. Josh Hettinger out there for his 4th inning of work. He has struggled a little bit today, just like Tyler Garko. Faced 7 men in inning number 2, allowed 2 runs to score in that inning, and then allowed a run to score back in inning number 3. Grant Fink steps in, ready to lead things off here in the top of inning number 4. 1 for 1, a single and an RBI. Back in inning number 2, drove in the second run of the game for the Wild Things. Hettinger set the pitch to Fink. And Fink down the left field line. That'll go foul into the seats. No balls and a strike. 0-1 the count here on the Wild Things left fielder. Grant Fink the night off last night. He did play in game 1 of this series and went 0 for 4. Hettinger set in the 0-1. Fink checks his swing, and it's outside for a ball. 1 ball, 1 strike. 1-1 the count. Hettinger set the 1-1. And Fink takes inside, ball 2. 2 balls, 1 strike here on Grant Fink. Fink appearing in his 10th game of the year, the 2-1. And Fink pops this one up behind the plate. Valadez is under it, and he will make the catch. That is out number 1. So 1 away here in the top of the 4th, and that'll bring up the catcher, Alex McKeon. McKeon 1 for 1 with a single. Got the night off last night as Eddie Sarando caught behind the plate, but in game 1 went 0 for 4, was robbed twice on great defensive plays, once by Jordan Dean at second and once by Sean Payne in left. The pitch, and that's low, ball 1 to McKeon, 1 ball, no strikes. 1-0 the count to the Wild Things catcher. Hettinger set, and the 1-0. And McKeon takes low, ball 2. 2 balls, no strikes. McKeon played in the Boston Red Sox organization a year ago. 6'2", 215 from Terrytown, New York. Here's the 2-0. And McKeon, a line drive over the head at short, and that'll get into left field, a base hit. McKeon now has 2 hits on the day and is on with 1 out for the Wild Things, and that'll bring up the second baseman, John Zizniewski. Zizniewski 0 for 1 with a strikeout. Last night, drove in a run on a sacrifice fly and was 1 for 3. Coming into the day, batting .080, looking to pick it up offensively. McKeon at first. He singled his second hit of the day. Hettinger set. And throw over to first. McKeon's back. Didn't even slide in. 1 out here in the top of the 4th. Wild Things down 4-3. They do have a runner on with 1 out. Hettinger set. And the pitch to Zizniewski. And takes a ball outside. 1 ball, no strikes here to the Wild Things second baseman. 1-0 the count, 1 out. Zizniewski played in the White Sox organization a year ago. The 1-0. And Zizniewski fouls this one away back behind the stadium. 1 ball, 1 strike. 1-1 the count. Alex McKeon at first after he singled. Zizniewski, as we said, has been splitting time at second base with Justin Fox. Hettinger has his sign. He's set. And the 1-1. And Zizniewski to the right side. That's a base hit. It's a back-to-back 1-out singles. Have runners at first and second for the Wild Things with 1 away, and that brings up the center fielder, Andrew Heck. Heck today, 0 for 2. A strikeout, and he's reached on an error. So he has reached base today. Looking to come through. Alex McKeon, the tying run, stands on second base. Here in the 4th inning, Wild Things down 4-3. Andrew Heck replaced Jamal Austin in last night's game. In the 7th inning, the pitch. And that's a strike to Heck, no balls and a strike. 1 out, top of the 4th, 2 on. Alex McKeon at second and John Zizniewski at first after back-to-back singles. 0-1 the count, Hettinger set. Checks McKeon the pitch. Heck to the left side. Stopped there by Nelson. Steps on third for 1. Throw across to first isn't going to be in time. So fielder's choice. 5 unassisted. As Heck reaches, Zizniewski moves to second base, and McKeon is out at third. And then I'll bring up the shortstop, Austin Wobrock. Wobrock strikeout and a walk today, 0 for 1. Looks to come up with some 2-out magic. Hettinger in his 4th inning allowed two runs in the second, 1 run in the third. His team currently holds a 1-0 lead. Hettinger looks into his catcher, Valadez, has his sign, checks Zizniewski at second. The pitch. And Wobrock up the middle. A diving stop at short, the flip to second, and they get Andrew Heck. What a play by Josh Gardner at shortstop, and that will end the inning. A run saver, no runs for the Wild Things on 2 hits, no errors, and 1 man left on base. And after 3.5 the score, Schaumburg Boomers 4, your Washington Wild Things 3. You're listening to Washington Wild Things baseball right here on the MSA Sports Network.
AAA members enjoy 24/7 roadside assistance, exclusive member-only discounts, expert travel assistance, free identity theft protection, and much more. With that AAA card in your wallet or purse, you have the peace of mind, safety, and security that only AAA membership can provide. Already a member? Don't forget to renew. Not a member? Join AAA today at any nearby office or online at AAA.com. AAA, we're always with you.
We're back here on the MSA Sports Network's coverage of Washington Wild Things baseball. Going to the bottom of inning number 4. Currently the score, Schaumburg leads your Washington Wild Things by the score of 4-3. The Wild Things almost tied it up in the top of inning number 4. Austin Wobrock, a sharp ground ball at the middle, but a nice diving stop by Josh Gardner, the shortstop. He was able to get to his knees and flip to second very quickly to retire the side. So the score stands 4-3. Tyler Garko back out there for his 4th inning of work. He had a 1-2-3 inning last time. Excuse me. As he got Paul Crowenfeld to strike out, Chris Robinson to fly out to center, and Mark Nelson to ground out to second base. Due up for the Boomers here in their half of the 4th, Dusty Robinson, Eno Patron, and Mike Valadez. Garko on the hill, as we said, making the spot start for the Washington Wild Things, currently down by 1. And Clearview Federal Credit Union has branches in Canonsburg, McMurray, and all over southwestern Pennsylvania. Visit clearviewfcu.org to find one near you. I'd like to remind you this 4th inning brought to you by Chick-fil-A. Visit the Chick-fil-A in Washington today. We're ready for baseball here in the bottom of inning number 4. As Dusty Robinson will step in to lead things off. Robinson on the day, 1 for 1 with a single and an RBI. In last night's game, Robinson 1 for 4. Garko's pitch, and Robinson a fly ball. And this will go off to the right and foul. No balls and a strike, and Robinson gave that one a big ride, but is a long strike 1. 0-1 the count on Robinson. Garko set, here's the pitch. And this ball is popped up behind second base. Wisniewski going back. Popkins will call him off, and Popkins, makes the catch, a bobbling catch by Dave Popkins, and that's out number 1. It popped out of his glove. He juggled it with his bare hand and somehow got it back into his glove for out number 1. A circus catch out there by Dave Popkins, and that'll bring up the first baseman, Eno Patron. Patron, 1 for 1, a 3-run home run. His last time up that put the Boomers up 4-2 at that point. The Wild Things scored another run in the 3rd, making it 4-3. Garko's pitch, and that's a strike. No balls and a strike on Eno. And Garko's retired 4 straight since that 2nd inning. Garko's 0-1. And Patron takes just outside for a ball. 1 ball, 1 strike. 1-1 the count. Tyler Garko making a spot start here in Game 3 of this series with Schaumburg. Garko's 1-1. And that's outside, ball 2. 2 balls and a strike. Besides that 2nd inning, Garko's been pretty good today. The 1st inning, he only faced 3 batters, walked. The leadoff man got a double play and struck out the 3rd man he faced, the 2-1, and that's low, ball 3. And then 1-2-3 inning last inning, and has the 1st man out here in inning number 4. 2-1 the count. Garko set, here's the pitch. And that's a called strike on the outside corner. 2 balls, 2 strikes. 2-2 the count, 1 out. Garko said, here's the pitch. And this one grounded, diving! Oh, Wobrock drops it, throw to first! And he can't get him. Wobrock had it in his glove for a second, An outstretched dive by Austin Wobrock. The ball popped out of his glove. It'll be an infield single for Eno Patron. But Wobrock Superman-style dive. The ball flew out of his glove. He got to it, got to his knees. The throw to first still almost beat Eno Patron, but it was just too low in the dirt, and Yezzo couldn't handle it over there. So an infield single for Eno Patron, and that'll bring up the catcher, Mike Valadez. Wobrock, a Herculean effort, but couldn't make it happen. Garko set, checks first the pitch, and this one hit right on the infield. Wisniewski catches it, or no, it bounced second for one, and to first, not in time. I didn't see that one hit off the ground, so a fielder's choice, 4-6. They couldn't get the double play. Patron eliminated at second base, and that is out number 2. That'll bring up Sean Payne, the center fielder. Payne today 0 for 1, was 0 for 3 in last night's game. So runner at first here, 2 outs, Wild Things down 4-3. Here in the bottom of inning number 4. Garko has his sign, checks first the pitch. And that's a strike, no balls and a strike. 0-1 the count. The right-handed pitcher Garko versus the right-handed batter Sean Payne. Mike Valadez leads off first the pitch. And that's outside for a ball, 1 ball, 1 strike. 1-1 the count. Valadez at first, he reached on a fielder's choice. As the ball bounced just in front of home plate, Wisniewski played it on the high hop, just got the 1 out at second. Garko's 1-1. And that's a strike, 1 ball, 2 strikes. 1-2 the count. Here on the Boomers center fielder. Hit his first home run of the season in game 1 of this 3-game series. His only hit in the series. Garko has his sign, checks Valadez. Here's the 1-2. Swing and a miss by Sean Payne, and that is out number 3. No runs on a hit, no errors, and a man left. And after 4, the score, Schaumburg 4, your Washington Wild Things 3. You're listening to Washington Wild Things baseball right here on the MSA Sports Network.
How does a 120-year-old company like Henderson Brothers keep up in a world that changes every minute, that keeps throwing curveballs, that flaunts new technology, that demands responsiveness? The answer is simple. With expertise, we ensure the most successful corporations in the area, and they in turn recommend us. And for that, we're grateful. Henderson Brothers. Expect an expert.
We're back here going to the top of the 5th from the MSA Sports Network. I'm Zach Ziegler. Your Washington Wild Things currently down 4-3 to the Schaumburg Boomers. Last inning for the Wild Things. It started out with a Grant Fink pop-out behind the plate. Then Alex McKeon, his second hit of the day, a single, got him on, followed by a John Wisniewski single. Had the Wild Things with runners at first and second and only 1 out. Then Andrew Heck grounded into a fielder's choice. And Austin Wobrock robbed on a diving stop by Josh Gardner up the middle that saved a run back in inning number 4. Wild Things back to the back racks here in the 5th. It'll be Brian Haar, Dave Popkins, and Ricky Rodriguez. 3, 4, and 5, the middle of this Wild Things lineup due up here in this half of the inning. Hey fans, Washington County's got something for you. Indoors, outdoors, history, sports, gaming, shopping. This is the place for your next adventure. Brought to you by Washington County Tourism Promotion Agency. Visit them at visitwashingtoncountypa.com. Going to the top of the 5th here. Your Wild Things currently lead 4-3. Or down 4-3, excuse me, the Schaumburg Boomers. They won the first 2 games of this series by scores of 5-0 and 6-4. Action in both the Wild Things and the Schaumburg bullpen. Out in Schaumburg's bullpen, it is Keegan Hopkins warming up. Patrick Dolan warming up. As Brian Haar getting ready to step in, and we are ready for baseball here in the top of the 5th. Haar on the day, 1 for 2. A single and a strikeout. Josh Hettinger in for his 5th inning of work, has allowed 3 runs through the first 4 innings pitched. He's set, and the pitch to Har. Har will take it low, ball 1. 1 ball, no strikes on the Wild Things third baseman. Har's driven in 6 runs in this series. The pitch, swing and a miss, 1 ball, 1 strike. Nice hack there by Brian Har. Har 4 home runs to start the season. Hasn't hit one since the Joliet series. The 1-1. Har grounds this one foul. Nice play by Popkins over there in the on-deck circle. 1 ball, 2 strikes. As Popkins barehanded the bouncing foul ball. Flipped into the stands, give a fan a nice souvenir. 1 ball, 2 strikes, nobody out in the top of the 5th. As Hettinger didn't like the ball he was given. And the umpire's looking for a new set of baseballs. 4-3, your Wild Things currently down here in the top of the 5th, looking to come back. Have some other action around the Frontier League going on tonight. Currently, the Windy City Thunderbolts defeated the Joliet Slammers 6-5. The Normal Corn Belters beat the River City Rascals 12-9. Traverse City beat Lake Erie 12-11 in 11 innings. And Evansville beat Southern Illinois 4-3. The only other game currently going on in the top of the 8th, the Florence Freedom and Gateway Grizzlies are tied at 1 as this pitch is low, ball 2 to Brian Har. 2 balls, 2 strikes. 2-2 the count. Hettinger set, and the pitch. And Har takes high, ball 3, so the count goes full. 3 balls, 2 strikes. Dave Popkins, the on-deck batter, the right fielder for the Washington Wild Things. Hettinger looks in, has his sign. Here's the 3-2. And Har takes high, ball 4. So the leadoff man on here in the 5th. And we'll see if the Wild Things can capitalize as Dave Popkins steps in. Popkins, no official at-bat yet. He walked his first 2 times back in the 2nd and 3rd innings. Brian Har at first after his walk. On the day, Hettinger. 4 walks so far. The pitch. And Popkins in the right field. This will get down for a base hit. Har will be held at second. And there are runners at first and second here with nobody away. It's a good start to the 5th inning. Tying run in scoring position for the designated hitter, Ricky Rodriguez. Rodriguez is 0 for 2 today, but has reached base both times as he reached on an error back in the 2nd as right fielder Dusty Robinson couldn't squeeze a fly ball out on the track. And then last inning, he hit into a fielder's choice double play, 5-4. He reached at first base. So Rodriguez on twice today, even though he's 0 for 2. Brian Har currently stands at second after he walked, and Dave Popkins singled, putting the ball into right field and giving the Wild Things runners at first and second. Hettinger looks in. He has his sign. He's set. Checks Har at second. Here's the pitch. Rodriguez takes inside. Ball 1. 1 ball, no strikes the count. Ricky Rodriguez had a chance with the bases loaded earlier in the game and didn't come through, looking to redeem himself. Hettinger set. The 1-0. Rodriguez grounds this one foul towards the Wild Things dugout. 1 ball, 1 strike. 1-1 the count. Here to the Wild Things DH. Rodriguez was in left field last night. Hettinger set, checks Har at second. The 1-1. And Rodriguez takes in the dirt, ball 2. Nice block back there behind the plate by Mike Valadez. Valadez back there started game 1 of this series, had the night off last night, and starting again behind the plate this evening. Hettinger looks in. Brian Har at second, Dave Popkins at first. He's set. The 2-1. Rodriguez grounded to third. Nelson on third for 1, to second for 2, to first, and safe. Ricky Rodriguez just beats the throw Almost a triple play there for Ricky Rodriguez. 2 men retired. He did the same thing he did back in inning number 3. Har out at third, Popkins out at second. Rodriguez reaches on the 5-4 double play, and that'll bring up the first baseman, Jimmy Yezzo. Nearly a triple play there. As coming out on the mound for discussion is the pitching coach. That's just what you wanted if you were Hettinger. And warming up, there is action in the Washington Wild Things bullpen. Rodriguez, the same thing he did back in the 3rd inning, a sharp ground ball to 3rd. Nelson stepped on the bag through to 2nd, and this time they just missed getting the triple play. Yezzo the batter. Yezzo today 0 for 2. He's grounded out to second base twice. Wild Things down 4-3. 2 outs here in the top of the 5th. Hettinger looked in, has his sign, and the pitch. Yezzo takes outside for a ball. 1 ball, no strikes. 1-0 the count. If it was a slower runner, it would have definitely been a triple play. Hettinger set in the 1-0. That's outside as well, ball 2. 2 balls, no strikes. Rodriguez the runner at first after grounding into the double play that erased the 2 leadoff men. Hettinger set the 2-0. And Yezzo to left field. Coming in is Chris Robinson, and he will make the catch, and that is out number 3. So no runs in the inning for the Wild Things on 1 hit, no errors, and a man left. And after 4.5, the score, Schaumburg 4, your Washington Wild Things 3. You're listening to Washington Wild Things baseball right here on the MSA Sports Network.
Hi, this is Hines Ward. If you're a high school sports fan, the place to go all year round is the MSA Sports Network. Log on every day to www.msasports.net for the schedules, the scores, the standings, the rankings, and of course, all of the broadcasts includes exclusive Whitfield playoffs and championship action. Anytime, anywhere, always there, the MSA Sports Network.
We're back here on the MSA Sports Network's coverage of Washington Wild Things baseball. Currently going to the bottom of the 5th, the score, the Schaumburg Boomers lead Game 3 of this 3-game series by a score of 4-3. Garko back out there for his 5th inning of work. Last inning, faced 4 batters, got Dusty Robinson to fly out to start things in the 4th. That was a juggling catch by Dave Popkins as the ball popped out of his glove. He caught it with his bare hand and put it back in his glove for the out. Then Eno Patron singled, followed by a fielder's choice by Mike Valadez, and a strikeout by Sean Payne. Due up here for the Boomers in inning number 5, Josh Gardner, Jordan Dean, and Paul Kroenfeld. The 1, 2, and 3 batters for the Schaumburg Boomers. Hey fans, you know you can receive $100 when you open a new checking account with Clearview Federal Credit Union? Visit them today at clearviewfcu.org for more details. We said Garko back out there for his 5th inning of work. There is action in the Washington bullpen as Brian O'Keefe has been stretching out there. Wild Things down by 1, 4-3. The only other game going on right now in the Frontier League at this point is the Florence Freedom taking on the Gateway Grizzlies. That game 1-1 in the bottom of the 8th. Other scores from today: the Southern Illinois Miners beat the Evansville Otters 4-3. Evansville Otters beat the Southern Illinois Miners, 4-3. The Traverse City Beach Bums beat the Lake Erie Crushers 12-11 in 11 innings. The Normal Corn Belters beat the River City Rascals 12-9. And the Windy City Thunderbolts beat the Joliet Slammers 6-5. That brings up Josh Gardner, the shortstop, here in the bottom of inning number 5. Garko setting the pitch. And it's a called strike. No balls and a strike here on Gardner to start inning number 5. Garko, 1 rough inning in the 2nd inning. That led to all 4 runs for the Schaumburg Boomers. Other than that, it's been pretty good. Garko's 0-1. Checks his swing. Did he go around? No, says the field umpire. 1 ball, 1 strike. 1-1 the count. Gardner saved this game from being tied. as he robbed Austin Wobrock with 2 outs in inning number 4. That one's inside, ball 2. Wobrock hit a ball up the middle that was destined for center field, but Gardner made a nice diving stop and flipped the second for the out. Garco's 2-1. And Gardner hits this one to right field down the line. It's hooking, and it is a fair ball. Gardner around first, heading to second, and the throw in from Popkins is a bouncer, and Gardner will get in there at third with a leadoff triple. The Boomers set up in good position here in the 5th inning. A leadoff triple for Gardner, and that'll bring up the second baseman, Jordan Dean. Dean today 0 for 2. Double play and a fly out, so Garco going to have to be a magician to get out of this one. Wild Things infield drawn in, down by 1. As Austin Wobrock and Brian Haar playing about halfway. John Zizniewski and Jimmy Yezzo in on the grass on the right side. The pitch. And this ball popped up to right field. Popkins going to camp under it. He makes the catch. Here's the throw to the plate. And it will not be in time as Josh Gardner scores. Sacrifice fly. And the Boomers now lead by a score of 5-3 here in the bottom of inning number 5. And that'll bring up the designated hitter, Paul Kroenfeld. That ball hit deep enough. Popkins tried to get it in time. He just could not. And the run scores. So now the Boomers lead 5-3 here in the bottom of inning number 5 with 1 out. And Kroenfeld the batter. Garco set. Here's the pitch. And this one fouled away. No balls and a strike. 0-1 the count here in the bottom of the 5th. Wild Things down 5-3. Tyler Garco making the spot start tonight. He's set. Here's the 0-1. And this ball is fouled away. Count goes to 0-2. Game 3 of this 3-game series. After tonight's game, the Wild Things will travel to Normal, Illinois to take on the Normal Corn Belters Tuesday, Wednesday, and Thursday. Garco's 0-2. And that's high ball 1. Couldn't get him to chase. 1 ball, 2 strikes. Here to Paul Kroenfeld. 1 out, bottom 5. 1 run already in. Garco's pitch. And this ball hit the right field and deep. It's hooking if it stays fair, and it goes foul. A long foul ball, and the count sticks. 1 ball, 2 strikes. That ball had home run distance, but it hooked foul. And luckily for the Wild Things, they get new life against Kroenfeld. Garco, the right-handed pitcher, versus Kroenfeld, the left-handed batter. Garco's 1-2. And takes just outside, ball 2. 2 balls, 2 strikes here to Kroenfeld. Bottom 5, 1 run in already on the Jordan Dean sacrifice fly. Garco's 2-2. Kroenfeld ground to the right side. That'll be a base hit. 1 out single gives the Boomers another base runner, and that'll bring up the left fielder, Chris Robinson. Robinson today 0 for 1 with a walk. As there's 1 out here in the bottom of inning number 5. Schaumburg leads 5-3. Garco looking in. Checks Kroenfeld at first. He has his sign. He's set. And the 2-2. Or the first pitch, excuse me, is low, ball 1. 1 ball, no strikes. 1 run in on the inning. As Josh Gardner led things off with a triple, and Jordan Dean sacrifice fly scored him. 5-3, Schaumburg leads. Garco set. The pitch. And this ball hit the right field. Popkins, couple steps back into his right, and he makes the catch out number 2. 2 away now here in the bottom of the 5th, and that'll bring up the third baseman, Mark Nelson. Nelson today 1 for 2, a single and a ground out. And as Nelson steps up, Manager Greg Langman will come to the mound, and there will be a pitching change here in Boomer Stadium. And with that, we're going to take a break. You're listening to Washington Wild Things Baseball right here on the MSA Sports Network.
PA Leadership Charter School is a proud sponsor of the Washington Wild Things. PALCS is a tuition-free online public school for K-12 students. PALCS can help your child hit a home run in their education through flexibility, student-to-teacher interaction, and socialization opportunities. Go to PALCS.org for more information. Go Wild Things!
PA Leadership Charter School. Lead, don't follow.
You just never know how your day is going to go. The same holds true at Penn Station East Coast Subs. For some unsuspecting spuds, they start their day as Idaho potatoes, only to be transformed into hand-hewn fries. Unlucky for them, good for you. However, both your days get better because the fries get a sidle up next to a perfectly grilled Philly cheesesteak. Then, on their way to their final resting place, they get bathed in citric nectar, our signature lemonade. Wherever your day takes you, we recommend Penn Station be one of the stops.
We're back here on the MSA Sports Network's coverage of Washington Wild Things baseball. Pitching change for your Wild Things as Brian O'Keefe comes into the game to relieve Tyler Garco. The final line on Garco, 4 2/3 innings pitched, 5 runs, 5 earned, 7 hits, 1 walk, and 3 strikeouts. He is responsible, however, for Paul Kroenfeld at first base. With 2 outs, the first man to greet Brian O'Keefe will be the third baseman, Mark Nelson. For O'Keefe appearing in his 4th game for the Wild Things, has thrown 4 innings, yet to give up a run on 1 hit, 1 walk, and 1 strikeout for the Wild Things right-hander. As Mark Nelson steps in, the first batter to face him here in the bottom of the 5th, O'Keefe's first appearance in this series with the Schaumburg Boomers. So we're ready here in the bottom of the 5th. Paul Kroenfeld at first with 2 away. Schaumburg leads 5-3. As O'Keefe steps off and now looks in. Has his sign. Checks Kroenfeld at first. Here's the pitch. And that's high, ball 1. 1 ball, no strikes, the count to Mark Nelson. Here in the bottom of the 5th, 1 run in already. O'Keefe setting the 1-0. And this ball's popped up back into the seats, and it'll go foul. 1 ball, 1 strike. Hitting the ceiling just above the press box here. 1-1 the count, 2 away, bottom 5. Wild Things down 5-3 to the Schaumburg Boomers here in the bottom of inning number 5, game 3 of this 3-game series. O'Keefe set the 1-1. And this one hit the right field. Popkins going over, and he will make the catch. That is out number 3. A run does come in the inning for the Boomers on 2 hits, no errors, and a man left. And after 5, the score. Schaumburg 5, your Wild Things 3. You're listening to Washington Wild Things baseball right here on the MSA Sports Network.
When looking to replace your athletic field, choose ProGrass, first in turf. ProGrass has installed over 500 fields in the U.S. Getting the best artificial turf for your field depends upon both the product and the partner you choose. That's why architects, athletic directors, and players choose the ProGrass Performance System. ProGrass maintains an active presence in the field turf industry as members of the Sports Turf Management Association and the American Sports Builder Association, and is proud to be recognized as a FIFA preferred manufacturer. Call ProGrass today at 866-270-6003 or visit them on the web at www.progressturf.com. ProGrass, first in turf. Be sure to check out MSASports.net every day this spring for the scores, the daily standings, and the weekly rankings, plus daily high school sports broadcasts as well. In May, we will have exclusive coverage of the WPIAL baseball and softball playoffs, the WPIAL boys volleyball and tennis championships, and the WPIAL boys and girls track and lacrosse championships. Anytime, anywhere, always there, every day this spring on the MSA Sports Network.
We're back here on the MSA Sports Network's coverage of Washington Wild Things baseball, going to the top of inning number 6. As we have a pitching change for the Schaumburg Boomers, as that will spell the end of the night for Josh Hettinger. Hettinger, through 5 innings, gave up 3 runs, all earned, on 6 hits, while walking 4 and striking out 4. So not a bad start here for the Schaumburg Boomers starter Josh Hettinger. And due up for the Wild Things here in the 6th, Grant Fink, Alex McKeon, and John Zizniewski. The new pitcher for the Schaumburg Boomers, Patrick Dolan. Dolan, no record on the year. Appearing in his 6th game, has thrown in 8 2/3 innings pitched, giving up 2 runs, 2 earned on 5 hits, 3 walks, and 10 strikeouts. Owns a 2.07 ERA. As we are ready here in the top of inning number 6, Grant Fink, the first man to meet Dolan. Fink on the day, 1 for 2, a single and an RBI. Dolan looking in, he has his sign, he's set, and the pitch. And that's a called strike, no balls and a strike. 0-1 the count to the Wild Things left fielder. Fink got the night off last night. Back in there this evening. Dolan set. And the pitch. Fink takes outside, ball 1. 1 ball, 1 strike the count. Dolan from Summerville, South Carolina, pitched for the Rockford Aviators a year ago. 6'2", 195. Dolan has his sign, the 1-1. And Fink hits this one foul back into the seats. 1 ball, 2 strikes. 1-2 the count. Here on the right-handed batter, Grant Fink, versus the right-handed pitcher, Pat Dolan. Dolan looks in, has his sign. He's set, and the 1-2. And Fink to left center field. This one going towards the gap, and it'll get down. Fink has 2 hits on the night, and he gets on to lead things off here in the 6th for your Washington Wild Things. That'll bring up the catcher, Alex McKeon. McKeon 2 for 2, 2 singles on the night for the Wild Things catcher. Pat Dolan gives up a single to the first man he faces here in the 6th. Grant Fink at first, he's singled. Dolan looks in, has his sign, and the pitch. And that's outside, ball 1. 1 ball, no strikes the count to the Wild Things catcher. Wild Things currently down 5-3. Grant Fink the runner at first. Dolan looks in, has his sign. He's set the 1-0. McKeon takes outside, ball 2. Wild Things trying to get back into this one, currently down 2. 5-3 the score. Nighttime falling here at Boomers Stadium, just past 8:30, or just before 8:30 here on the Central Time Zone, just past 9:30 back home in Washington, Pennsylvania. Throw over to first, and Grant Fink is back. 2-0 the count currently on catcher Alex McKeon. Acquired before Game 3 of the Joliet series. That was the 2nd series of the season. Currently playing in his 8th game as a Wild Thing. Dolan has his sign. He's set, and the 2-0. And McKeon, a fly ball down the left field line. This will go foul. 2 balls and a strike. 2-1 the count. Wild Things down 2. As the score is 5-3. Schaumburg leads this one in Game 3. Wild Things took the first 2 by scores of 5-0 and 6-4. Looking to fight their way back here in Game 3. Dolan has his sign. He's set, and the 2-1. And that's high, ball 3. 3 balls and a strike, and with a runner already on in the inning, McKeon looking to get on to give the Wild Things 2 on and nobody out. Pat Dolan, the right-hander on the mound, versus Alex McKeon, the right-handed hitting catcher. Dolan set, checks Fink at first, the pitch. And McKeon a fly ball to left field. Going back is Robinson, and he will make the catch in front of the track. That is out number 1. McKeon gave that one a ride, not deep enough, and that'll bring up the second baseman, John Zizniewski. Zizniewski on the day, 1 for 2, single and a strikeout. Grant Fink currently at first base. He singled to lead off the inning. He has 2 hits on the night. John Zizniewski looking to come through here with 1 out. Dolan has his sign. He's set. Here's the pitch to Zizniewski. And a chopper back towards the middle. Gardner has it, steps on second for 1, throw to first, and that's a double play. That will end the inning, 6-3, and no runs in the inning on a hit, no errors, and nobody left on. And after 5.5, the score, Schaumburg 5, your Wild Things 3. You're listening to Washington Wild Things baseball right here on the MSA Sports Network.
AAA members enjoy 24/7 roadside assistance, exclusive member-only discounts, expert travel assistance, free identity theft protection, and much more. With that AAA card in your wallet or purse, you have the peace of mind, safety, and security that only AAA membership can provide. Already a member? Don't forget to renew. Not a member? Join AAA today at any nearby office or online at AAA.com. AAA, we're always with you.
We're back here on the MSA Sports Network's coverage of Washington Wild Things baseball. Going to the bottom of inning number 6, your Wild Things are currently down by a score of 5-3. Brian O'Keefe entering the game, or staying in the game, for his second inning of relief. He got the last out in the bottom of the 5th. In the bottom of the 5th, the Boomers added another run as Josh Gardner started things out with a triple. He would score on the Jordan Dean sacrifice fly. Then Paul Kroenfeld singled with 1 out, but was stranded there after Chris Robinson and Mark Nelson had back-to-back flyouts. So Brian O'Keefe still out there for your Wild Things. And hey, fans, every Thursday night game during the 2016 season is Thirsty Thursday at Consol Energy Park. And it's all being brought to you by Frankie I's Bar and Grill, located by the Meadows Casino on Route 19. Join them to enjoy food and drink specials after the game. And don't forget, Thursday's future is Buck Beverages, both beer and soda, for just $1. So come out to Consol Energy Park on Thirsty Thursdays and enjoy some Wild Things baseball. Due up for the Boomers here in their half of the 6th, Dusty Robinson, Eno Patron, and Mike Valadez. As Robinson steps in, 1 for 2 today, a single and a fly out. He drove in 1 of his team's 5 runs. And really the big blow on the day was a 3-run homer by Eno Patron. Drove in 3 of the team's 5 runs. O'Keefe's pitch. And it's low, ball 1. 1 ball, no strikes the count. O'Keefe's 1-0. And this ball is hit to center field. Andrew Heck coming in a couple steps, and he will make the catch. That's out number 1. 1 away here in the bottom of the 6th, and that'll bring up the first baseman, Eno Patron. Patron 2 for 2. As we said, has driven in 3 of his team's 5 runs, a 3-run homer back in inning number 2, and a single in inning number 4. Patron, 5'10", 200 pounds, from Livermore, California. He's been the thorn in the Wild Things side today. So Wild Things down 5-3 here in the bottom of the 6th. O'Keefe's pitch. And it's a strike. No, a ball. 1 ball, no strikes. So that one just missed the outside corner. O'Keefe's 1-0. And that's in the dirt, ball 2. 2 balls, no strikes. The count on Patron. O'Keefe looks in. Here's the 2-0. And Patron to right field. Popkins going back at the wall, and it is gone. No, it's off the top of the wall. Popkins throws it back in, and that's a double for Eno Patron. As they thought it was gone at the ballpark, I thought it was gone as they sounded off the home run whistle, but Eno Patron reaches in a double. 1-out double. That one stayed in the park, and then that'll bring up the catcher, Mike Valadez. Valadez 0 for 2, fielder's choice, and a ground out to first base. So Patron at second after his double. He's a triple shy of the cycle. That bat didn't look like it was gonna have much. The ball didn't look like it was gonna have much carry off it off the bat. And this pitch is inside ball one, but it went all the way out to the wall out there. And Patron reached with a double. Valadez, the catcher, now batting. As O'Keefe looks in, he's setting the pitch. And that's outside, and it'll get past McKee into the backstop. So Patron moves up to third on the wild pitch. And the count is now 2-0 to Mike Valadez. Valadez, night off last night as James Keller caught game 2 of this series. Currently in game 3, Tyler Garco got the start, went 4 2/3 innings, gave up 5 runs on 7 hits, 1 walk, and 3 strikeouts. For the Wild Things starter, O'Keefe took over, got the last out in inning number 5, and has 1 out here in inning number 6, as that one is low, ball 3. 3-0 the count. Here to Mike Valadez. O'Keefe set, here's his pitch, and that's outside ball 4. So Valadez reaches with a 1-out walk, and there are runners at first and third now, with only 1 away, and that'll bring up the center fielder, Sean Payne. The good news, double play opportunity set up, is we'll see the corners come in and the middle infielders at double play depth. Sean Payne today, 0 for 2, ground out and a strikeout. Brian O'Keefe, the right-handed pitcher, versus Payne, O'Keefe, the left-hander, versus Payne, the right-hander. O'Keefe's pitch. And that's in the dirt. Nice block there by McKee, and 1 ball, no strikes. 1-0 the count. O'Keefe trying to keep this deficit right where it is. So the Wild Things are trying to fight back offensively. They've had some opportunities, but haven't come through with men on base. O'Keefe looks in. Checks first. And the 1-0. And Payne pops this one foul. 1 ball, 1 strike. 1-1 the count. Runners at first and third. Eno Patron at third. He doubled. Mike Valadez at first. He walked. So 2 on, 1 out in the bottom of the 6th. Boomers up 5-3. O'Keefe set. And the pitch. And Payne a ground ball to third. Haller has it to second for 1 on to first. And not in time for the double play. Patron will score. And the Boomers now take a 6-3 lead here in the bottom of the 6th. Fielder's choice for Sean Payne. 5-4 on the putout. And that'll bring up the shortstop, Josh Gardner. Gardner today, 2 for 2. Single, triple, and also walked back in the first. Boomers up 6-3 as a run comes in here in the bottom of 6th. O'Keefe gives up his first run of the year. He's set, checks Payne at first, and the pitch. And that's inside for a ball. 1 ball, no strikes. 1-0 the count to the leadoff man for the Boomers. They lead 6-3 here in Game 3 of this 3-game series. Wild Things won the first 2, winning 5-0 in yesterday's contest and 6-4 in Game 1. The pitch, and that's inside for a ball. 2 balls, no strikes the count to the Boomers' leadoff man. 2-0, 2 outs, bottom 6, a run in. O'Keefe set, the 2-0. And that's outside ball 3, snap throw to first, and Payne just does get back. 3-0 the count. Here in the bottom of inning number 6, getaway day for your Washington Wild Things, going over to Normal to take on the Corn Belters on Tuesday, Wednesday, and Thursday after an off day tomorrow. O'Keefe has his sign, the 3-0, and that's high ball 4. So a 2-out walk gives the Boomers runners at first and second now with 2 away, and that'll bring up the second baseman, Jordan Dean. Dean on the day, 0 for 2 with a sacrifice fly. He's driven in 1 of his team's 6. Eno Patron, the hero of the game so far for Schaumburg. 3 RBIs. He's also 3 for 3 with a homer, single, double, and 2 runs scored. Runners are first and second now for the Boomers. O'Keefe set, and his pitch to Dean. And that's in the dirt and gets away from McKean, so the runners will move up to second and third now. A wild pitch by Brian O'Keefe. Sean Payne moves to third. Josh Gardner to second. 2 outs, and O'Keefe struggling to find the strike zone as 1-0 the count now to Jordan Dean. O'Keefe trying to get out of it. Your Wild Things down 6-3. So we'll see what O'Keefe can do. O'Keefe set, checks third. The pitch. And that one's a strike. 1 ball, 1 strike. O'Keefe coming in and finding the strike zone here. For the Boomers, they scored 4 runs back in inning number 2. 3 of those courtesy of the 3-run homer by Eno Patron. They also scored lone runs in the 5th and 6th. This one grounded to second. Cisnewski handles it, throwing to first, and that is out number 3. However, the Boomers do add another run in the inning on 1 hit, no errors, and 2 men left. And after 6, the score, Schaumburg 6, your Wild Things 3. You're listening to Washington Wild Things Baseball right here on the MSA Sports Network.
How does a 120-year-old company like Henderson Brothers keep up in a world that changes every minute, that keeps throwing curveballs, that flaunts new technology, that demands responsiveness? The answer is simple. With expertise. We insure the most successful corporations in the area, and they in turn recommend us. And for that, we're grateful. Henderson Brothers. Expect an expert.
We're back here on the MSA Sports Network's coverage of Washington Wild Things baseball. Your Wild Things currently down 6-3 as we enter the top of inning number 7. Last time up for your Wild Things, only 3 men came to the plate. Grant Fink singled to start things. Then Alex McKeon flew out to left field, and John Cisnewski hitting a 6-3 double play. That would end the inning. 1 run in for the Boomers in the bottom half of inning number 6. As with 1 out, Eno Patron doubled. Then Mike Valadez walked, and Sean Payne grounded into a fielder's choice that scored Patron from third base and gave the Boomers a 6-3 lead. Josh Gardner would walk after that, and then Jordan Dean would ground out to second to end the inning. Patrick Dolan in for his second inning of relief for the Schaumburg Boomers. Due up for the Wild Things here in their half. Andrew Heck, or excuse me, not Andrew Heck. Yeah, it is Andrew Heck, Austin Wolbrock, and Brian Haar. The top of the order will face Patrick Dolan. Every Friday night's a fireworks night at Consol Energy Park. Enjoy a spectacular fireworks display after all Friday night Wild Things home games this season. The next fireworks night this Friday night, June 3rd, as the Wild Things will start a 3-game series with the Evansville Otters. Hard to believe we're already almost in June here in 2016. So Andrew Heck steps in. Heck today, 0 for 3, the pitch. And that's low, ball 1. 1 ball, no strikes to the Wild Things center fielder, getting the start out there today, giving Jamal Austin the night off. Andrew Heck facing the righty Dolan. Dolan set, and the 1-0. And Heck a fly ball to center field. Payne a couple steps to his left, and he'll make the catch. That's out number 1. 1 away in the 7th for your Wild Things, and I'll bring up the shortstop, Austin Wobrock. Wobrock today 0 for 2 with a walk. He was robbed of a base hit his last time up in the 4th, as Josh Gardner made a nice diving stop to keep what would have been an RBI single, and at that point would have tied the game at 4 from going into center field. The 1 out here in the top of the 7th. Wild Things down 6-3 to the Schaumburg Boomers. Here's the pitch. And that's outside, ball 1. 1 ball, no strikes, the count to Wobrock. Wobrock led second on this team in RBIs a year ago with 31. Dolan set, and the 1-0. And that's up, ball 2. 2 balls, no strikes, the count on Wobrock. The ball brushed him off the plate a little bit. 2-0, the count on Wobrock. Dolan looks in, has his sign, he's set, and the 2-0. And that's a strike. 2 balls and a strike on Austin Wobrock. 2-1 the count. The Wild Things have taken the first 2 games of this 3-game series. They're currently down 6-3 here in game 3. Dolan set, and he steps off. He doesn't like the sign he got. Your Wild Things currently sit at 8-5, good for third in the Frontier League East Division standings, behind the Windy City Thunderbolts and the Lake Erie Crushers. Dolan set. Here's the 2-1. And this one's fouled away, way back in the lawn area. 2 balls, 2 strikes, as Wobrock gave that one a nice ride. Wobrock does have a home run on the year. He hit it in Game 3 of the Gateway Series. 1 home run, 5 RBIs for the Wild Things shortstop. Dolan has his sign. He's set, and the 2-2. And Wobrock, a fly ball to center field. Payne coming in. He'll call for it, and he'll make the catch. That's out number 2. 2 flyouts to center field to start the 7th, and that'll bring up the third baseman, Brian Haar. Haar today, 1 for 2 with a single. He's also walked and has been retired at third base both times. 2 outs, top 7. Wild Things down 6-3. And Brian Haar stepping in. Dolan looks into his catcher, Valadez. He has his sign. Here's the pitch. And Haar takes it high for a ball. 1 ball, no strikes. 1-0 the count. Here on Brian Haar, looking to get on base and get something started with 2 outs in the 7th. Dolan has his sign. He's set, and the 1-0. Haar fouls this one back behind the screen. Count goes to 1-1. 1 ball, 1 strike. That ball going up to the suite levels, just to the right of our broadcast booth here in Schaumburg. Pat Dolan, right-handed pitcher, versus Brian Haar, the right-handed batter. Dolan set the 1-1. And that's low, ball 2. 2 balls and a strike to count to your third baseman, Brian Haar. Currently leads the team in home runs and RBIs with 4 home runs, 14 RBIs. Dolan looking in, has his sign. He's set, and the 2-1. And Haar will take just on that outside corner. Count goes even, 2-2. 2 balls, 2 strikes, 2 outs. Here in the top of inning number 7, Brian Haar looking to come through. Game 3 of this 3-game series from Boomer Stadium here on the MSA Sports Network. The pitch. And this one hit foul off to the right, so the count will stay 2-2. You're listening to the MSA Sports Network. I'm Zach Ziegler. Here in the top of inning number 7. Your Wild Things down 6-3. As Eno Patron has really made the difference so far. 3 hits on the day, including a 3-run home run. Here's the pitch. And Haar takes outside, ball 3, so the count goes full at 3-2. 3 balls, 2 strikes. Dave Popkins on deck if Brian Haar can reach. Haar has walked once today on a full count. Looking to get on with 2 away. Dolan has his sign. He's set. Here's the 3-2. And that's inside, ball 4. So a 2-out walk here to Brian Haar gives the Wild Things some life. And that'll bring up the right fielder, Dave Popkins. Popkins today, 1 for 1 with 2 walks. He singled in the 5th, walked in the 3rd, and walked in the 2nd. Coming up here in the 7th, and there's going to be a meeting on the mound. So we're going to take a look at the Frontier League standings. Touched on that already today. In the East Division, the Windy City Thunderbolts lead things at 11-3, and sitting at second, right above the Washington Wild Things, are the Lake Erie Crushers. They're at 8-4. The Washington Wild Things sit at 8-5, then followed by Joliet in 4th place. They're at 7-8. The Traverse City Beach Bums sit in 5th place. They're 5-8. And the Schaumburg Boomers round out this East Division with a record of 3-11. Going to the other side of the ledger, in the West, the Southern Illinois Miners lead things at 8-5. Then the Gateway Grizzlies and Evansville Otters tied for second. They both sit at 8-6. Then the River City Rascals in 4th place in that division, 7-6. Florence Freedom in 5th, they're 5-8. And the Normal Corn Belters, who these Wild Things will see next, sit at 3-11. So Dave Popkins steps in now, 1 for 1, single and 2 walks. Dolan has his sign. He's set. Here's the pitch. And Popkins takes inside for a ball. 1 ball, no strikes. 1-0 the count on the switch hitting. Wild Things right fielder's been batting left-handed all night, facing right-handed pitchers. Dolan looking in. He's set. Here's the pitch. Popkins, a big swing and a miss. 1 ball, 1 strike. 1-1 the count. Dave Popkins, the batter. Brian Hart first after he walked. Dolan looking in. Has his sign, checks first, and the pitch. Popkins takes outside for a ball. 2 balls and a strike. 2-1 the count here on the Wild Things right fielder. Wild Things currently down 6-3 in the top of the 7th with 2 outs. Dolan looking in. Has his sign. He's set. And the 2-1. It's another swing and a miss by Popkins. Count goes even at 2-2. 2 balls, 2 strikes, 2 outs, top of the 7th. Brian Harr reached on a 2-out walk. Popkins the batter. Popkins leads the team in average, hitting .326 coming into today's contest. The pitch. That's outside ball 3. Count goes full. 3-2 with Ricky Rodriguez on deck if Popkins should reach. Popkins trying to get on base any way he can. Facing off against Patrick Dolan. Time called at the plate. 2 home runs, 2 RBIs on the year for Popkins. Had 20 and 46 a year ago. Dolan looking in, has his sign. He's set. The 3-2. Inside ball 4. Dave Popkins will walk, so back-to-back 2-out walks has brought up the tying run here in inning number 7 in the form of Ricky Rodriguez. Rodriguez, some bad luck today. He's 0 for 3, but he has reached base all 3 times. In the 2nd inning, he had a fly ball to right field to the warning track. Dusty Robinson couldn't hold that one. Then in the 3rd inning, hit into a 5-4 double play, and he reached first base as the throw couldn't get him. And then in the 5th inning, he hit into the same 5-4 double play and just beat the throw at first base again. So he's almost hit into a triple play twice tonight, but has got out of it, hitting the double plays, and he's 0 for 3, been on base 3 times. Brian Hart 2nd, he walked. Dave Popkins at 1st, he walked. It's the Wild Things trying to come through here in inning number 7, down 6-3. Dolan set. The pitch to Rodriguez. And that's outside. Nice block by Valadez behind the plate. 1 ball, no strikes. Valadez diving towards that left-handed batter's box, making the backhanded save, not allowing Harr and Popkins to move up. Dolan looking in. He has his sign. Checks Harr at 2nd. The 1-0. And that's a called strike. 1 ball, 1 strike here on Ricky Rodriguez. Rodriguez is hitting some bad luck today. Could change that with 1 swing of the bat. He has 2 home runs on the season. 5 RBIs. Dolan looking in. Has his sign. Set. Checks Harr. The pitch. Way outside. Another nice block in the dirt by Valadez. Count goes to 2-1. 2 balls and a strike. Top of the 7th. Wild Things down 6-3, but they currently have 2 on and 2 out. Ricky Rodriguez representing the tying run at the plate. Wild Things sit at 8-5, good for 3rd in the East Division standings here in the Frontier League early on. Dolan has his sign, the 2-1. Rodriguez checks, and that's high ball 3. 3 balls and a strike, and Dolan now with 2 outs in danger of walking the bases loaded. 3-1 the count. Rodriguez the batter. Brian Harr and Dave Popkins back-to-back walks have runners at 1st and 2nd. Dolan set. And the 3-1. And Rodriguez takes on the inside corner. 3 balls, 2 strikes. Another full count. Jimmy Yezzo on deck if Ricky Rodriguez can reach. Wild Things showing some life here with 2 outs in the 7th. Have become patient at the plate, see if Rodriguez can do something. Dolan set. The 3-2. Rodriguez takes inside and hit him, ball 4. The bases are full of Wild Things here in the 7th with 2 away, and that'll bring up Jimmy Yezzo. As the bases are full, 3 straight 2-out walks here in the top of the 7th. Yezzo will come up. Coming to the mound is manager Jamie Bennett, and we will have a pitching change here from Boomer Stadium. So we will be right back. Top of the 7th, 2 outs. Wild Things down 6-3, but the bases are loaded. Keep it right here for more Washington Wild Things baseball here on the MSA Sports Network.
Hi, this is Hines Ward. If you're a high school sports fan, the place to go all year round is the MSA Sports Network. Log on every day to www.msasports.net for the schedules, the scores, the standings, the rankings, and of course, all of the broadcasts includes exclusive Whitfield playoffs and championship action. Anytime, anywhere, always there, the MSA Sports Network.
PA Leadership Charter School is a proud sponsor of the Washington Wild Things. PALCS is a tuition-free online public school for K-12 students. PALCS can help your child hit a home run in their education through flexibility, student-to-teacher interaction, and socialization opportunities. Go to PALCS.org for more information. Go Wild Things!
PA Leadership Charter School. Lead, don't follow.
We're back here on the MSA Sports Network's coverage of Washington Wild Things baseball. Top of the 7th inning, 2 outs, and after 3 straight walks, the bases are full of Washington Wild Things. The new pitcher for the Schaumburg Boomers will be Evan Boyd. Boyd, appearing in his 6th game for the Boomers, has thrown in 8 2/3 innings pitched, has yet to give up a run, has given up 2 hits, has not walked a batter, and struck out 9. Currently no ERA. The Wild Things in a big situation here. Looking to add on Jimmy Yezzo, the winning run, coming to the plate with the bases full. Yezzo does have a home run in this series, homered in Game 1 of this 3-game series in the 6-4 win. That got the Wild Things on the board. Doesn't have to homer here. A double would do the trick as it could score all 3. Ricky Rodriguez has some speed at first base. Wild Things down 6-3 here in the top of inning number 7. Jimmy Yezzo coming to the plate. Yezzo on the day is 0 for 3. See if he can come here in the 7th with 2 outs. 3 straight walks. Brian Harr at third, Dave Popkins at second, Ricky Rodriguez at first. Boyd looking in. He's set. And the pitch to Yezzo is a called strike. No balls and a strike to the Wild Things first baseman. Big situation for him. Yezzo has come through in big situations before. He had a game-tying shot at home against Lake Erie. The 0-1. And that's a called strike. No balls, 2 strikes. Bases full of Wild Things here. 2 away, top of the 7th. Brian Harr at third, Dave Popkins at second, Ricky Rodriguez at first. Boyd did pitch last night, or pitch 2 nights ago for Schaumburg. And the 0-2. Yezzo, a swing and a miss, and the inning is over. No runs, no hits, no errors, and 3 men left on base. And after 6.5 the score, Schaumburg leads it 6-3. You're listening to Washington Wild Things baseball right here on the MSA Sports Network.
You just never know how your day is going to go. The same holds true at Penn Station East Coast Subs. For some unsuspecting spuds, they start their day as Idaho potatoes, only to be transformed into hand-hewn fries. Unlucky for them, good for you. However, both your days get better because the fries get a sidle up next to a perfectly grilled Philly cheesesteak. Then, on their way to their final resting place, they get bathed in citric nectar, our signature lemonade. Wherever your day takes you, we recommend Penn Station be one of the stops.
back here from Boomer Stadium on the MSA Sports Network's coverage of Washington Wild Things baseball. 7th inning stretch as we go to the bottom of the 7th. Your Washington Wild Things down in this one 6-3. They had a big chance last inning as Andrew Heck and Austin Wolbrock back-to-back flyouts to center field. Then 3 straight walks loaded the bases as Brian Haar, Dave Popkins, and Ricky Rodriguez all reached. And then Jimmy Yezzo struck out to end the threat. Brian O'Keefe back on here in inning number 7. This will be his second full inning of work. Got the final out in inning number 5. And leading off here in the bottom of the 7th will be Paul Kroenfeld, the number 3 hitter, designated hitter tonight. It'll be Kroenfeld, Robinson, and Nelson, 3, 4, and 5, due up to face O'Keefe. Tyler Garko started this game, gave up 5 runs, all 5 of them, in his 4 2/3 innings. O'Keefe has given up 1 run on the night. As his first pitch to Kroenfeld is a strike, no balls and a strike. 0-1 the count, the pitch, and that's outside for a ball. 1 ball, 1 strike. 1-1 the count. Brian O'Keefe facing Paul Kroenfeld. O'Keefe set, here's the 1-1. And just high, ball 2. It looked like it was in there from here, but it's high for a ball, 2 balls and a strike. O'Keefe's 2-1. And that's outside, ball 3. So after getting the first pitch strike across, he's thrown 3 straight balls here to Kroenfeld in the bottom of the 7th. O'Keefe's 3-1. And this one ground to the right side, and that'll be a base hit just past Yezzo into right field. So the leadoff man on for Schaumburg here in the 7th, and that'll bring up the left fielder, Chris Robinson. Robinson on the day, 0 for 2 with a walk. It's the second hit on the day for Kroenfeld. Both hits for him singles. As Robinson steps in. The Wild Things have taken the first 2 games of this series. Won 5-0 last night and won 6-4 the night before. As they tried to come back last inning with the bases loaded and 2 away, but Jimmy Yezzo struck out and kept the score at 6-3. O'Keefe set, checks Kroenfeld at first. Here's the pitch. And this one fouled away back to the screen. No balls and a strike. 0-1 the count here to Chris Robinson. Robinson 1 for 4 last night. His big hit in the series was the 2 RBI triple in Game 1. That part of a 4-run first inning. The Wild Things would eventually win that game 6-4. The pitch. And this one's tapped foul. No balls, 2 strikes the count. 0-2, nobody out here in the bottom of the 7th. Paul Kroenfeld at first after the leadoff single. Brian O'Keefe on in his second full inning of relief. He's thrown 1 1/3 so far and has given up 1 run. O'Keefe looks in, has his sign. He's set, and the 0-2. And this ball hit foul off to the right back into the seats. Count sticks, no balls, 2 strikes. Robinson stays alive, 0-2. Paul Kroenfeld at first after he led off the inning with a single. Now O'Keefe trying to get Robinson. O'Keefe looks in, has his sign, checks Kroenfeld at first, and the 0-2. And that's low and outside, ball 1. 1 ball, 2 strikes. Brian O'Keefe pitched in the California Winter League before this season. He was signed right before the California Winter League started. Manager Greg Langben liked him so much that they signed him right away. The 1-2. And this one's fouled back to the screen. Again, the count goes to 1 ball and 2 strikes. 1-2 the count. Wild Things down 6-3 here in the bottom of the 7th with nobody out. Paul Kroenfeld at first base. O'Keefe looking into Robinson, has his sign. He's set, and the 1-2. And this one grounded to short. Wobrock to Zizniewski to first, and not in time. Fielder's choice 6-4 on the putout. As Robinson replaces Kroenfeld at first base, and there is now 1 away here in the bottom of the 7th for the third baseman, Mark Nelson. Nelson on the day, 1 for 3 with a single. He's also grounded out and flew out. on the day. Wild Things off day tomorrow as they travel to Normal, Illinois to take on the Normal Corn Belters. Those 3 games can all be heard on the MSA Sports Network Tuesday, Wednesday, Thursday. 7:35 first pitch on Tuesday as this pitch is in there for a strike, no balls and a strike. 0-1 the count. Trevor Foss taking the hill in game 1 of that Normal series. Brian O'Keefe looking into his catcher Alex McKeon, has his sign. He's set. And the 0-1 throw over to first. And Robinson back. Nelson on the day, as we said, 1 for 3 with a single. O'Keefe set. Checks Robinson. And the pitch. And that's inside, ball 1. 1 ball, 1 strike, 1 out here in the bottom of inning number 7. Brian O'Keefe, the righty on the mound. Facing Mark Nelson, the right-handed batter. O'Keefe set the 1-1. And this one's fouled away. Count goes to 1 ball, 2 strikes. O'Keefe nearly got a double play with Chris Robinson, but the play just developed too slowly as Wobrock flipped to second. The return throw to first was not in time. So 1-2, 1 out, bottom 7. Schaumburg leads 6-3 over your Wild Things. O'Keefe set the 1-2. And that's just high, ball 2. 2 balls, 2 strikes. 2-2 the count. O'Keefe yet to strike out a batter in this one. O'Keefe's 2-2 coming. And this one just fought off at the plate. Count remains 2 balls, 2 strikes off the end of the bat of Mark Nelson. You're listening to MSA Sports Network's coverage of Washington Wild Things baseball. I'm Zach Ziegler taking you through Wild Things baseball all season long. This is the Wild Things' 14th game of the season. They came in with a record of 8-5. O'Keefe's 2-2. And that's in the dirt, blocked by McKeon, but he's not going to have a throw down to second base. And McKeon just holds on to it, and Chris Robinson moves up.
Wild pitch.
On the wild pitch by Brian O'Keefe. So Chris Robinson at second base. On the wild pitch by Brian O'Keefe. Mark Nelson, the batter. 2-2 the count to him as time is called. We said your Wild Things 8-5 through the first 13 games of the season. And they really had a 3-3 road trip, which was decent to start the year. Then a 3-2 homestand as they split a rain-shortened 2-game series with the Lake Erie Crushers, and then took 2 of 3 from the Traverse City Beach Bums. So their record is at 8-5 now. They took the first 2 games here in the Schaumburg series by scores of 5-0 and 6-4. O'Keefe set check second, and the pitch, and it's hit to center field. But right to Andrew Heck out in center, and that will be out number 2. 2 away here in the bottom of the 7th, and that brings up Dusty Robinson, the right fielder. The right fielder. Robinson 1 for 3 with a single and a run scored. He scored on the Eno Patron 3-run home run. Robinson came into this game hitting 187, no home runs, 5 RBIs. O'Keefe set. Checks Chris Robinson at second, the pitch. And that's low and in the dirt, ball 1. 1 ball, no strikes, bottom of the 7th. Brian O'Keefe on the mound in his second full inning of relief. Came in with 1 out in the 5th inning. O'Keefe set in the 1-0. And that's outside as well, ball 2. 2 balls, no strikes, 2 outs here in the bottom of the 7th. Wild Things down 6-3 to the Schaumburg Boomers. O'Keefe set, and the pitch coming at 2-0. And this one grounded to the left side and foul. 2 balls and a strike here on Dusty Robinson. Robinson playing in this, his 13th game for the Schaumburg Boomers. Came in with 10 hits and 53 at-bats. O'Keefe set the 1-2. And they're the 2-1s outside for ball 3. 3 balls and a strike, and O'Keefe has been pretty wild today, but it hasn't affected him to this point. He's only allowed the 1 run. O'Keefe set, and the 3-1. And this ball hit the left field and deep. Fink going back, and it is off the top of the wall. As the throw will come back in, it's a single for Dusty Robinson. Chris Robinson will score, and the Boomers now have a 7-3 lead here in the bottom of inning number 7. Robinson gave that one a ride. It hit off the metal fencing on the top of the left field wall, and Schaumburg now leads 7-3, and that'll bring up Eno Patron. Patron's 3-run homer back in the second inning really gave the Schaumburg Boomers the life they needed here in this third game of this series. They were already down as the Wild Things took the first 2, but now they have a 7-3 lead here in the bottom of the 7th. O'Keefe's pitch checks his swing, and it's a called strike. No balls and a strike. 0-1 the count. Brian O'Keefe on the mound took over for Tyler Garko in inning number 5. O'Keefe set. Here's the 0-1, and that's way outside, ball 1. Nice catch behind the plate by Alex McKeon. The runner at first, Dusty Robinson. He reached on an RBI single. 7-3 the score, O'Keefe's pitch. And that's in the dirt. This one bounces way away from Alex McKeon. And Dusty Robinson will move up to second now on the play. Another wild pitch by Brian O'Keefe. And with 2 outs, Dusty Robinson now stands at second. And it's a 1-1 count, or 2-1 count on Eno Patron. As there's action now in the Wild Things bullpen. Can't tell who's throwing out there just yet, but there is action. Dusty Robinson, the runner at second. He reached on an RBI single. O'Keefe set. Here's the 2-1. Swing and a miss by Patron. 2 balls, 2 strikes. 2-2 the count with 2 outs here in the bottom of the 7th. Wild Things down 7-3. As O'Keefe set and the 2-2. And just low, ball 3. 3 balls, 2 strikes the count, 2 out here in the bottom of the 7th. Brian O'Keefe in for his second full inning of relief. Took over with 1 out in the 5th. Dusty Robinson at second. He reached on an RBI single, the 3-2. And this one hit to the right side and way foul into that lawn area. Watch out over there. Count remains full. 3 balls, 2 strikes. Mike Valadez, the catcher, on deck for these Schaumburg Boomers. As Patron stepping back in. Brian O'Keefe trying to get out of the 7th inning. O'Keefe set. The 3-2. And this one hit towards center field. Zizniewski, a running catch. And that is out number 3. After 7, the score. The Schaumburg Boomers 7. Your Washington Wild Things 3. They get a run in the inning on 2 hits, no errors, and a man left. After 7, Schaumburg 7, your Wild Things 3. You're listening to Washington Wild Things baseball right here on the MSA Sports Network.
When looking to replace your athletic field, choose ProGrass, first in turf. ProGrass has installed over 500 fields in the U.S. Getting the best artificial turf for your field depends upon both the product and the partner you choose. That's why architects, athletic directors, and players choose the ProGrass Performance System. ProGrass maintains an active presence in the field turf industry as members of the Sports Turf Management Association and the American Sports Builder Association, and is proud to be recognized as a FIFA preferred manufacturer. Call ProGrass today at 866-270-6003 or visit them on the web at www.progressturf.com. ProGrass, first in turf.
We're back here in the top of inning number 8. Your Wild Things down to the Schaumburg Boomers by a score of 7-3. Boomers added another run in the 7th inning as Paul Kroenfeld started things off with a single, was replaced by Chris Robinson at first base after a fielder's choice. Then Mark Nelson flew out, and Dusty Robinson came through with an RBI single after a wild pitch that scored Chris Robinson and gave the Boomers this 7-3 lead. Due up for your Wild Things here in the 8th. Grant Fink, Alex McKeon, John Zizniewski. 7, 8, and 9 hitters in the Wild Things order. All Sunday home games are donation Sundays at Consol Energy Park, brought to you by Goodwill. Fans are encouraged to bring gently used items to the park on Sundays and enter to win prizes courtesy of Goodwill. Evan Boyd out there again for the Schaumburg Boomers, his second inning of relief as he came on to get the last out in inning number 7, striking out Jimmy Yezzo to end that inning. And leading off here, Grant Fink. Fink today, 2 for 3 with 2 singles. Boyd set, here's the pitch to Fink. And Fink takes it for a ball, 1 ball, no strikes. 1-0 the count, top of the 8th. Wild Things down 7-3 to the Schaumburg Boomers. Boyd set in the 1-0. Swing and a miss by Fink, a big swing and a miss, 1 ball, 1 strike. 1-1 the count. Here on Fink, the left fielder. Boyd set the 1-1. Fink takes this one, and it's low, ball 2. 2 balls, 1 strike, nobody out. Here in the top of inning number 8, Wild Things down 7-3. Boyd's 2-1. Fink swings right through this one. 2 balls, 2 strikes. 2-2 the count. Getaway day for the Wild Things. Taking a bus over to Normal, Illinois. About an hour and a half ride after the game. The series with Normal starts on Tuesday night, 7:35. First pitch can be heard right here on the MSA Sports Network. The 2-2, and this one grounded to short. Gardner plays it on the tough hop. Throw over to first, and that's out number 1. Nice pick in the dirt there by Patron at first base. 6-3 on the putout, and there's out number 1, and that'll bring up the catcher, Alex McKeon. McKeon on the day, he's also 2 for 3, 2 singles. He singled back in the 2nd, singled in the 4th, and flew out in the 6th. McKeon in his 8th game as a Washington Wild Thing. Signed after the Kyle Pollock injury. Boyd's pitch. And that's a strike. No balls and a strike on McKeon. 0-1 the count. To the Wild Things catcher. Came into today hitting .222. Boyd's pitch. Checks his swing. Did he go around? Yes, says the field umpire. No balls and 2 strikes here on McKeon. McKeon looking to get on with 1 out in the top of the 8th. Wild Things down 7-3. Boyd's 0-2. And way in the dirt and outside, ball 1. 1 ball, 2 strikes. Valadez tried to glove that one as it was in the left-handed batter's box, but it rolled all the way back to the backstop. 1 ball, 2 strikes. 1-2, 1 out. Wild Things down by 4, 7-3 the score. Boyd set the 1-2. And that's a called strike 3. McKeon strikes out, and that is out number 2. Boyd's 2nd strikeout victim of the night. And that'll bring up the second baseman, John Zizniewski. Zizniewski 1 for 3. Looks to have some 2-out magic here in the top of the 8th. With the Wild Things down 7-3. Game 3 of this 3-game series from Boomer Stadium in Schaumburg, Illinois. Boyd set. Here's the pitch. And this ball, fly ball to right field. Dusty Robinson a couple steps back, and he will make the catch. That is out number 3. 1-2-3 go your Wild Things here in the 8th. And after 7.5 the score, Schaumburg 7, your Wild Things 3. You're listening to Washington Wild Things baseball right here on the MSA Sports Network.
Be sure to check out MSASports.net every day this spring for the scores, the daily standings, and the weekly rankings, plus daily high school sports broadcasts as well. In May, we will have exclusive coverage of the WPIAL baseball and softball playoffs. the WPIL Boys Volleyball and Tennis Championships, and the WPIL Boys and Girls Track and Lacrosse Championships. Anytime, anywhere, always there, every day this spring on the MSA Sports Network.
AAA members enjoy 24/7 roadside assistance, exclusive member-only discounts, expert travel assistance, free identity theft protection, and much more. With that AAA card in your wallet or purse, you have the peace of mind, safety, and security that only AAA membership can provide. Already a member? Don't forget to renew. Not a member? Join AAA today at any nearby office or online at AAA.com. AAA, we're always with you.
We're back here on the MSA Sports Network's coverage of Washington Wild Things baseball, going to the bottom of inning number 8. Your Wild Things currently down 7-3 to the Schaumburg Boomers here in Game 3 of this 3-game series. They took the first 2 games by scores of 6-4 and 5-0. Pitching change for your Washington Wild Things on the mound, Devin Davis. Davis appearing in his 7th game for the Wild Things. Has thrown in 7 innings, has given up no runs on 4 hits, 3 walks, and 8 strikeouts for the big left-hander. Davis standing in there at 6'3", 235 from Mountain Brook, Alabama. Pitched in the Chicago White Sox organization and the Double-A team a year ago. And due up for the Schaumburg Boomers here in the bottom of the 8th, Mike Valadez, Sean Payne, and Josh Gardner, 8, 9, and 1. As Valadez stepping in right now. Valadez today 0 for 2 with a walk. He also reached base on a fielder's choice back in inning number 4. So Devin Davis takes over here in the 8th. Davis, a quick worker. 8 strikeouts through his first 7 innings of work. He's set. Here's the pitch. And quickly a fly ball to right field. Popkins ranging back to the track, and he'll make the catch. Out number 1. 1 pitch, 1 away for Davis out of the bullpen. And that'll bring up the center fielder, Sean Payne. Payne today 0 for 3. He has reached base on a fielder's choice his last time in the 6th. He's also struck out in the 4th and grounded out in the 2nd. Davis looking in. He's set. Here's the pitch. And it's a strike. No balls and a strike on Payne. One thing with Davis, when he's on the mound, he does not mess around. He pounds the strike zone and has the velocity to make guys swing and miss. Davis set in the 0-1. And this one chopped right back up the middle. Wobrock a dive and backhanded play by Zizniewski. He's not going to have a throw. Wobrock dove. It went past him. Zizniewski got the backhand, but by then he had no play on Sean Payne at first base. So a 1-out infield single, and that'll bring up the shortstop, Josh Gardner. Gardner 2 for 2. Also 2 walks. Walked in the 6th, tripled in the 5th, singled in the 2nd, walked in the 1st. And now up here in the 8th. With the Boomers up 7-3, 1 out in the bottom of the 8th. Sean Payne, the runner at first. Davis has his sign, checks Payne over there, the pitch. And it's low, ball 1. 1 ball, no strikes, the count. Here on the shortstop, Gardner. Davis looking in. Has his sign, checks Payne at first, the 1-0. And that one's in there for a strike. 1 ball, 1 strike. The back end of this bullpen for the Washington Wild Things, very effective. Andrew Wick, Devin Davis, and Zach Grotz. Wick a couple of rough spots, but Grotz and Davis have yet to give up runs on the season as throw over to first and Payne is back. 1 ball, 1 strike. Talking to manager Greg Langben, that's the strength of this team, according to him, is the back end of their bullpen. When Davis, Grotz, and Wick get the ball, they just pound the strike zone, the 1-1. And this ball is crushed to left center field. Deep and gone. And just as we say, Davis hasn't given up a run yet this year. He gives up a 2-run home run to Josh Gardner, making the score now 9-3. Schaumburg Boomers here in the 8th. A 2-run shot. That pitch left in the middle of the plate. And Gardner is able to hit it out to left center field. 2 RBIs there. And the runs keep coming in for the Boomers. They now lead 9-3 here in the bottom of the 8th, and that'll bring up the second baseman, Jordan Dean. The good news, 1 out, nobody on. The pitch. And time was called behind the plate. It was called as Davis already threw the ball. The ball was released, and then time was called. So no pitch. Davis not too happy about that one, but we're back. Davis looking in. He's set. Here's the pitch. And this ball hit hard down the right field line and foul. Watch out in that lawn area. No balls and a strike, the count to Dean. 0-1 the count, 1 out, bottom of the 8th, 2 in on the 2-run homer by Josh Gardiner. The 0-1. Swing and a miss by Dean, no balls, 2 strikes. 0-2 the count. Davis looking to get through the 8th. Dean steps back in. Davis is 0-2. And this ball hit the right field. Popkins, couple steps to his right. He'll make the catch. That's out number 2. 2 away here in the 8th, and that'll bring up the designated hitter, Paul Kroenfeld. Lefty on lefty. 2 runs in on the 2-run homers. Mike Valadez flew out to start things, then Sean Payne singled, and Josh Gardner hit that 2-run homer. Davis looking in. He's set. Here's the first pitch. And it's low for a ball. 1 ball and no strikes on Kroenfeld. 1-0 the count. Here's the pitch. And this ball hit the center field. Heck going over. And he will crash against the wall. And it won't make the catch. It's off the wall. Kroenfeld in there with a 2-out double. Thought Heck had it for a second, but he didn't get to it as he banged off that left center field wall. And it's another extra base hit for the Schaumburg Boomers, and that'll bring up Chris Robinson. Robinson, the cleanup man, 0 for 3, but has reached base twice on a walk and a fielder's choice. He's also scored 2 runs. Robinson reached on that fielder's choice in the 7th, flew out in the 5th, flew out in the 3rd, and walked in the 2nd. Davis looking in, has allowed 2 runs already in the inning. He's set, and the pitch. And it's a strike. No balls and a strike here to Chris Robinson. 0-1 the count. 9-3. Schaumburg leads here in Game 3 of this 3-game series. Davis set. Checks Kroenfeld at second. The pitch. And that's in the dirt. Ball 1. 1 ball, 1 strike. And 2 outs here in the bottom of the 8th. Davis looks in. Doesn't like his sign, so he steps off as time's called. And Robinson, adjusting his batting gloves, he steps back in, and now time called again behind home plate as something came onto the field. Baseball from the lawn area, so Grant Fink will retrieve that. And now that problem's fixed, and we are back. Davis looking in. 1-1 the count here to Chris Robinson. 2 outs, bottom of the 8th. Davis set, checks second, the pitch. And just outside for a ball. 2 balls and a strike. 2-1 the count. Davis giving up his first runs on the year. A 2-run home run by Josh Gardiner. Davis set the 2-1. And this ball hit the right field and deep. Popkins going back at the wall, and he can't make the catch. It's off the wall. Kroenfeld will score. Robinson heading to third. The throw is cut off, and Chris Robinson in there with an RBI triple. It's now 10-3 Schaumburg here in the bottom of inning number 8 as the runs keep pouring on. Another one in. Schaumburg 10-3. Now here in the bottom of the 8th, and here comes manager Greg Langben, and we will have just a meeting on the mound. Langben wants to talk to Davis. Davis has been so reliable this year through his first 6 starts. 1 bad outing isn't going to change that, and Langben's just basically out there saying, calm down. See if he can get out of this inning. He's already allowed 3 runs in, a 2-run homer and an RBI triple. It's 10-3 as Davis will look to end this inning. He'll have to do it by getting out Mark Nelson. Nelson 1 for 4 with a single. 10-3, Schaumburg leads here. Game 3 of this 3-game series here in Schaumburg, Illinois. Davis looks in, has his sign. He's set the pitch. And it's low for a ball. 1 ball, no strikes. 1-0 the count here on Nelson. Davis has his sign, the 1-0. And that's a strike. 1 ball, 1 strike. 1-1 the count. Schaumburg leads 10-3 with 2 outs here in the bottom of the 8th. Davis's pitch. And just low. Ball 2. Davis getting crunched a little bit there. 2-1. He's set. Here's the pitch. And that ball fouled away. Back over the stadium. 2 balls, 2 strikes. 2-2, 2 outs. Wild things down 10-3 to the Schaumburg Boomers. Davis set and the 2-2. And this one's fouled away to the screen. Count remains 2 balls, 2 strikes. 2-2 the count. 2 outs. Davis set and the pitch. And that's outside. Ball 3. 3 balls, 2 strikes, 2 outs here in the bottom of the 8th. Davis trying to get out of it. Wild things down 10-3. The pitch. And this one ground to the right side. It's a base hit. Another run will score on the RBI single by Mark Nelson, and it's now 11-3 Schaumburg here in inning number 8. Off day tomorrow for your Washington Wild Things, and then they're back taking on the normal Corn Belters Tuesday night as they look to brush this one off. Dusty Robinson steps in, the right fielder. Robinson today, 2 for 4. 2 singles, 2 RBIs. Davis's pitch. And that's a strike. No balls and a strike. 0-1 the count. Mark Nelson, the runner at first. He reached on an RBI single. Davis's pitch. In the dirt, ball 1. McKeon able to keep it in front of him, so Nelson not able to advance. 1 ball, 1 strike. 11-3, Schaumburg leads here in the bottom of the 8th with 2 outs. Devin Davis on the hill. Davis has been so reliable. He's given up 4 runs, though, in this inning. The pitch. And this one hit to right field. Popkins coming in fast, and he will make the catch. And the side is retired. But 4 runs come in the inning for the Boomers on 5 hits, no errors, and a man left. And after 8, the score, Schaumburg 11. Your Washington Wild Things 3. You're listening to Washington Wild Things Baseball right here on the MSA Sports Network.
How does a 120-year-old company like Henderson Brothers keep up in a world that changes every minute, that keeps throwing curveballs, that flaunts new technology, that demands responsiveness? The answer is simple. With expertise. We insure the most successful corporations in the area, and they in turn recommend us. And for that, we're grateful. Henderson Brothers. Expect an expert.
Hi, this is Hines Ward. If you're a high school sports fan, the place to go all year round is the MSA Sports Network. Log on every day to www.msasports.net for the schedules, the scores, the standings, the rankings, and of course, all of the broadcasts includes exclusive Whitfield playoffs and championship action. Anytime, anywhere, always there, the MSA Sports Network.
We're back here on the MSA Sports Network's coverage of Washington Wild Things baseball. Pitching change for the Schaumburg Boomers is coming in now to pitch will be Dexter Price, as Evan Boyd's day is done. Boyd threw 1 1/3 innings, did not give up a run or a hit, and struck out 2 in his 1 1/3 innings pitched. For Dexter Price, the new pitcher on the hill for the Schaumburg Boomers. Price, 1-2 record. He's appeared in 6 games. He's thrown 5 2/3 innings, given up 8 runs, 4 earned, on 9 hits, 2 walks, and 5 strikeouts, a 6.35 ERA. And set to face him here in the 9th, the top of the order, Andrew Heck, Austin Wobrock, and Brian Haar. Heck steps in to start things here in the 9th. Heck today, 0 for 4, has reached base twice, once on an error, once on a fielder's choice. He's also struck out and flew out. Wild Things down 11-3 here in the top of the ninth. Just looking to show some fight. The pitch. And it's a strike. No balls and a strike to Heck. 0-1 the count. Wild Things a day off tomorrow before starting a 3-game series in Normal, Illinois against the Normal Corn Belters. That one's outside for a ball. 1 strike. Game 1 of that series can be heard right here Tuesday night, 7:35. First pitch, Trevor Foss taking the hill for your Washington Wild Things, the 1-1. And that's a called strike. 1 ball, 2 strikes. 1-2 the count on the Wild Things center fielder. Wild Things down 11-3. Top of the ninth, nobody out. Price set the 1-2. And this one fouled away. Count goes to 1 ball and 2 strikes. 1-2 the count, nobody out. Wild Things did take the first 2 games of the series by scores of 5-0 and 6-4. Price looking into Valadez. Has his sign. He's set. And the 1-2. And that's in the dirt and outside. Ball 2. 2 balls, 2 strikes. Nobody out here in the top of the ninth. Andrew Heck today getting the start in center field, giving Jamal Austin a night off. As Austin to this point had started in all 13 games. Price set the 2-2. And this one's fouled away back into the luxury box area. So the count will stay 2 balls, 2 strikes. Dexter Price on the hill. Price set. Here's the 2-2. And this one hit right to the third baseman, Mark Nelson, and that's out number 1. Bad luck for Andrew Heck as he hit it hard, but right to Nelson over at third base, and that'll bring up the shortstop, Austin Wobrock. Wobrock today, 0 for 3. He was robbed of a hit in the 4th. That would have tied the game if Gardner had made the diving stop back in inning number 4. At that point, would have tied it at 4. A whole different story now. It's 11-3. Price's pitch, swing and a miss. No balls and a strike here on Wobrock. 0-1, 1 out, top of the ninth. Price set. Here's the 0-1. And this ball's fouled away. No balls, 2 strikes. 0-2 the count here. 1 out, top 9. Wild Things down 11-3. Price looking in. He's set. Here's the 0-2. And a swing and a miss. Wobrock strikes out, and there are 2 away here in the top of inning number 9. And I'll bring up Brian Haar as the last chance for these Washington Wild Things, as they are currently down by 7. As we said, a 3-game series with Normal following tonight's game. Off day tomorrow, Tuesday, Wednesday, Thursday against Normal, and then your Wild Things are back home Friday, Saturday, and Sunday to take on the Evansville Otters. Pitch, and Haar takes inside for a ball. 1 ball, no strikes. First pitch for Game 1 of the Normal series, heard right here on the MSA Sports Network. 7:35, first pitch on the East Coast. The 1-0. And that one's a called strike. 1 ball, 1 strike. 1-1 the count. You're on the Wild Things third baseman. Haar the last chance. 4 homers, 14 RBIs. The pitch. That's way outside. Nice backhand behind the plate by Valadez. 2 balls and a strike. 2-1 the count. 2 outs, top 9. Brian Haar the last chance for these Wild Things. Price set the 2-1. And that's a called strike. 2 balls, 2 strikes. 2-2, 2 outs. As the fans come to their feet here at Boomer Stadium. Dexter Price facing Brian Haar, the 2-2. And this one lined towards center field. That's a base hit. So with 2 outs, Wild Things showing signs of some life, down 11-3 as 2-out single. That'll bring up Dave Popkins, the right fielder. Popkins today 1 for 1 with 3 walks. He's walked in the 7th, walked in the 3rd, and walked in the 2nd. He also singled back in inning number 5. Top of the 9th, 2 outs. Wild Things down 11-3. Dexter Price looking in. He's set. Here's the pitch. Popkins, ground to the right side, handled by Patron. He will take it to the bag himself, and that will end this game. The final score, your Wild Things drop game 3 of this 3-game series by a score of 11-3. We'll be right back here on the MSA Sports Network. Stay tuned for the Washington Wild Things post-game show. The final score, Schaumburg 11, Wild Things 3. You're listening to Washington Wild Things baseball right here on the MSA Sports Network.
PA Leadership Charter School is a proud sponsor of the Washington Wild Things. PALCS is a tuition-free online public school for K-12 students. PALCS can help your child hit a home run in their education through flexibility, student-to-teacher interaction, and socialization opportunities. Go to PALCS.org for more information. Go Wild Things!
PA Leadership Charter School. Lead, don't follow.
We're back here on the Washington Wild Things postgame show. Final score in this one, Wild Things drop game 3 of this 3-game series, 11-3. Hi, everyone. I'm Zach Ziegler. You've been listening to Washington Wild Things baseball here on the MSA Sports Network. As we said, Wild Things drop game 3, but do take 2 of 3 from the Schaumburg Boomers, so taking a positive light out of this one. 2-3. The Wild Things drop now to 8-6 on the season. The Schaumburg Boomers improve to 4-11 after the win. Going to take a look at the scoring recap here. It all started in inning number 2 after a Chris Robinson walk and a Mark Nelson single. Dusty Robinson came through with an RBI single to give the Boomers a 1-0 lead in the second. Then Eno Patron, one batter later, a 3-run home run, and that gave the Boomers at that time a 4-2 lead. The Wild Things got their runs in the top of the second. Dave Popkins walked. Ricky Rodriguez reached on an error. And an RBI ground up by Jimmy Yezzo and an RBI single by Grant Fink made it 2-0. That 4-run inning by the Boomers made it 4-2. The Wild Things would cut that lead in inning number 3 as Austin Wobrock started things out with a walk. Then Brian Harr singled and Dave Popkins walked to load the bases. And Ricky Rodriguez hit into a 5-4 double play. Meanwhile, the run would score, making the score 4-3. That's all the offense the Wild Things could muster on the day, as the Boomers would add another run in inning number 5 as Josh Gardner started things out with a triple. He would score on a Jordan Dean sac fly. That made the score 5-3. And another run, one solo runs in the 6th and 7th made it 7-3 Boomers before another big inning, a 4-run 8th. Started out with a single by Sean Payne, a 2-run homer by Josh Gardner, made the score 9-3. Then one batter later, Paul Kroenfeld doubled, and Chris Robinson hit an RBI triple to make it 10-3. And Mark Nelson would cap off the scoring with an RBI single himself, making the final score 11-3. Tyler Garko got the start in this one, went 4 2/3 innings, allowing 5 runs, all earned on 7 hits, 1 walk, and 3 strikeouts in his 4 2/3 innings pitched. And the bullpen didn't do much better. Brian O'Keefe came in through 2 1/3, gave up 2 runs in his inning of work on 2 hits, while walking a batter. And Devin Davis, usually very good, gave up 4 runs in his inning of work on 5 hits, not walking a batter or striking out a batter. So Wild Things chalk this one up as a loss, but they get new life, an off day tomorrow, and then they start a 3-game series in Normal, Illinois, taking on the Normal Corn Belters Tuesday, Wednesday, and Thursday. First pitch of that Corn Belter series Tuesday night can be heard at 7:35 p.m. right here on the MSA Sports Network, and I will be calling the game as I have throughout the 2016 season as we get ready for more road action. The Wild Things take 2 of 3 here from Normal, Illinois. Thanks for listening, everyone. Final score, though, here in Game 3, 11-3. Your Wild Things drop it, and they fall to 8-6. Trevor Foss taking the hill in that first game of the Normal series. We will see you then Tuesday night, 7:35, right here on the MSA Sports Network. Final score here, Wild Things drop it, 11-3. Game 3 of this 3-game series in Schaumburg. Have a good night, everyone, and keep tuning in to Wild Things Baseball on the MSA Sports Network.